Why did I bother asking? Why did I bother asking? I want to start out the show by saying that.
Are we live yet?
By saying yes, we're live. Saying that my buddy over here, Ben, I was like, dude, I didn't know you had a TikTok, and he's like, yeah, he doesn't brag about himself, so he gives me his TikTok, right? So I follow him, and I'm like, oh, he's got these videos. Motherfucker can sing, man. I ain't even lying. I'm never singing in front of you, unless it's like a parody or a country song. Wow. That I can nail. I am never singing in front of you.
I have a theater background. Like I grew up in the theater. That's where I come from. So yeah, I can sing.
Oh, and he does it all a cappella too.
Nice.
Very good.
And by the way, I want to say I can tell a big difference from 5 months ago to 1 month on T. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mostly started the TikTok to document my progress. So
I'm gonna start.
That's why I do all my singing videos on there.
Yeah, so. I'm gonna start doing something like that too. But I'm probably gonna not put anything on TikTok yet. I'll wait till I get like 4 months into it and do like something I want to say every month or whatever, and then I'm gonna squish them together and put them out together. Yeah.
Robin really wants tea, but he just is so afraid to ask.
Oh, really? Because where you guys live?
Yeah, because of where we live.
That sucks, man. But I'm so glad I moved to an area I don't have to worry about that.
Robin has a roommate on T. And
really?
So, yeah. And so Robin's roommate said, this is my doctor. This is what I did. So Robin will get there. It'll just take a bit.
I can't wait till the end. Next Tuesday, I have my appointment with my doctor. I can't fucking wait. Like every time I see her, I go, guess what? 10 more days. Guess what? Tomorrow I'm going to say 7 more days.
That's the way I was too when I was
started. Waiting. Oh yeah. I'm like really excited. I'm pumped about it. I feel like I'm going to start a basketball game or something. Like I'm totally pumped about it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see my doctor to get my foot fixed.
Oh, what's wrong with your foot?
Bunions.
Oh yeah, I have them too. I just let them go. Fuck it.
I have up until now, but it's so bad now that my second toe has started turning.
Oh yeah, I know mine hasn't got that bad yet. I'm lucky, I guess. I don't know. Well, they say that can start from wearing too small of shoes when you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that a lot.
Feet, it is nearly impossible to find shoes that fit me.
Really?
But my brother used to tell me, you have a feet that's like a pizza's. Because my feet are so wide, they are almost round.
Wow. Short and wide, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody check out Dr. Ben's OnlyFans, otherwise known as Only Gloves. That's you can check that out online there. That'll be fun. Yeah.
I made it a reward in my Twitch streams where they can spend channel points to make me snap gloves. Yeah. I was like, why haven't I done this yet?
Drink a Monster, snap gloves. All right. So we're all taking turns doing that.
There's a couple nobody has redeemed yet, and I haven't told you what they are because y'all can find them.
More talk. All I'm asking for is more talk. I want to see that.
I have this, Granny.
Yep.
I have a high point reward that
you got another one
someone
right here.
Can use.
Another one right here. She doesn't like to be held like this. Yeah, I know you're mad. You'll be all right for a minute. You gotta show off. You're cute.
You're muted, Spackle.
Oh, she's talking to somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Oh, just so you guys know, Oz is going to come back. He had to go do some show stuff for the call-in show, and then he's going to come back here in a little while. So we will get to revamp that conversation we were having. But of course, if you guys want to discuss it, I know Granny's like on the ball with that shit. If you and Holy Spackle want to get into that and continue where Oz was, I'm totally cool with that too. Whatever you guys want to talk about.
Well, actually, I have a question for Spackle that's kind of important to something I'm working on personally. But looks like she's busy at the moment.
Yeah, she must be talking to her partner, and she doesn't even have her headphones on, so we'll give her a minute for that. I just realized that. Yeah, no, they started getting that discussion. I'm like, well, okay, I'll just sit here and nod because I don't know. I don't have anything to input into that. So you guys think that I avoid the atheism religion topic because I just don't like it, but really I just don't know shit. I just don't. I literally just never read the Bible because I can't read books.
It's
must be asleep.
It's really boring.
It's really boring.
Yeah, well, you're going to get to that point now in about 6 months or so where it's just going to get really boring.
What, the religion topic? It's always boring to me. Just, no, I like. There's so many other things in life to talk about, you know.
No, but I like what you do, B. I like the idea of what
thank you.
You know, and saying that now, not to put any fucking. Let's not be stupid. The audience. There's a lot of group. There's a big chunk of the audience that came from the atheist umbrella. You know, the community that we're all part of.
Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but I like the way you do that. Same with blatant atheist. You know, bring comedy into it. Same with Ben. Bring some medical into it. You know, it's
bring something different into it. Right.
What brought us together, but that isn't who we are, so to speak.
I guess we have a new Jeep.
Is it a Jeep?
It's a Jeep.
It's a Jeep.
It's the kind of Jeep that rolls over rocks. That kind of Jeep.
Oh,
like it's a
she
real
said her
Jeep.
partner said, "I want to buy this Jeep," and she said, "Well, I'm supposed to go on this thing. I mean, okay, I trust your judgment. Just it looks good from here. Make sure it's decent." And so she said, "Now we have a Jeep."
Is it a Ford?
It's a Jeep.
It's Chrysler.
It's an Ford. I'm like, anathema.
Jeep for Chrysler.
Well, no. The reason I say that is because I said, "Is it a Jeep?" And then you said, "Yes, it's a Jeep that goes over off-road road and stuff like that." And I was like, "Okay, she doesn't know what I mean by Jeep." So then that's why I asked, "Is it a Ford?"
I don't know what a Jeep is. A Jeep. I'm a beep. Like you know. I don't know. Like,
over in the
that
UK,
meme that used to
there's
spam
nobody
beep,
here
I'm
in
a
the
Jeep.
UK. If you say Jeep, it's like if you say Hoover.
Oh, okay. So it's like a catch-all.
It's a catch-all. That's why.
Like the crescent wrench.
Gotcha.
Which is really an adjustable wrench for anybody that doesn't know.
No, he likes to run over rocks with the Jeep, and I like to drive the Jeep like along the beach, you know, like like, oh, this is so pretty.
Yeah, but
he's like, what's that?
You bought
is the Jeep driving?
You bought like a Jeep Cherokee Jeep. It doesn't matter.
That's not a real Jeep. This is a Jeep Wrangler.
Oh, you know it. No, yeah. I know my Jeeps.
Yeah. You could do a U-turn like on the dime, like this whoop.
Yeah, I loved my Wrangler. I honestly did. It's just that when I had mine, everything in my life was falling apart. I was breaking up with my girlfriend, which means my business was going under and all this shit. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to move across the United States to Oregon and chase this young piece of tail for a little bit. So I did that. And so I took the Jeep back to the dealership and they bought it back for me for the exact amount I owed on it because it was like the third or fourth vehicle I bought through them. So they pretty much kissed my ass at this point. And then so I said, well, I need a ride to the airport. And they were like, sure. And so they get one of the girls that works the lot, one of the ladies that works the lot, to give me a ride to the airport in my Jeep. Like, thank you for making me upset and making me miss it already. Like, fuck, dude. You know, I had to like get out of my Jeep at the airport and wave goodbye to her and go,
did you ask her?
I'm going to miss my Jeep.
Wow.
Did you think of asking her, could you drive yourself to the airport so she could drive the Jeep back?
Oh, no, I had already sold it to him. I wasn't allowed to.
Oh, you're not allowed to.
Because then it's in their ownership and then it has to be covered under their insurance and you have to be a certified driver of the company to. Yeah, I already discussed that. I had discussed that.
Yeah, well, we have two. We have fully comprehensive and then we have third-party fire and theft. So if you're fully comprehensive, you can drive anyone else's car with the permission of the driver.
Oh, yeah, but no, it's different rules when it comes to car dealerships. MathPig is a Ford vacuum cleaner. Is it four-wheel drive?
Oh,
we need to know this.
Four-wheel suction.
It's four-wheel suction.
It's a vacuum cleaner.
Hi, Purple.
Hi, Purple.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello, Purple.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Still have that
Could be
sinus
worse.
thing going on?
Yeah, I've got chronic sinus issues. It's only a few days out of the year I actually get to breathe.
That's how I was till I moved where I live. And now I never I haven't got a sinus infection yet, and I usually get them every few months.
Is there anything that grows in your state?
Oh no, things grow. It's just that mold and mildew doesn't grow, and the
Okay.
nasty dust that you would normally get, I don't have to worry. It's a different kind of dust over here. It doesn't bother me.
My great uncle, when I was a kid, I'd entertain him, and I grew up in a house that looked a lot like Full House. My grandmother lived here, and the uncle, and it looked like Full House pretty much. You know that show. But I had an uncle that had TB, and he had TB like way back in the day. So he's a great uncle, and so like this is back when you had TB, they moved you to like a, what is it? It wasn't like a kind of not an asylum. There was a word for it.
Oh yeah, like the lockdown ward places.
Yeah,
to keep you away from everybody else.
Yeah,
I can't remember what they're called, but yeah.
And then he had to move because he lived, in the East Coast. He had to move to the West, and so they were moving people in the desert or the West area. So California was acceptable, Arizona, like all these places, just to avoid, I guess, the issues that were happening. And so interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it's great down here. There isn't, there's not a lot of pollen, because a lot of things don't grow. So there's not a lot of like, unless you're allergic to like cactus flowers or pine trees or something, there's not a lot. There's some kind of, they call them like, damn, I was trying to think what they call them. They call them like cotton trees or something, but this little wispy
Cottonwood
white.
trees?
No, it's different than
Dogwood?
cottonwood. No, it's different than, it's like this little wispy, like it looks like somebody tore up a cotton ball and threw it in the air.
Yeah, and they glob together, right? And they
No, they don't.
No,
they'll
okay,
just
maybe it's different.
float around, and there's just looks like little strings of cotton, just like little pieces like this big. And some people are really allergic to them, but I've only met like a couple people here.
Yeah,
It's
those
just
are from
not,
the cottonwood tree.
there's just not a lot of allergens here. And because it's such a low humidity, like mold and all that stuff doesn't grow. You spill water on your floor here, you're like, it'll be dry in an hour. I don't even clean it up, and it doesn't get moldy because things just don't mold here. You don't have to worry about it. You hang out something to dry like a rug, it'll be dry in like an hour and a half. You don't have to let it sit out there all day like you do in the north and in the east. You just don't have to do that. So no, it's not milkweed ox. It's a full-size tree.
I have an aunt that lives in Phoenix, and I used to tease her that, when it gets over 100 degrees, you take a basket of laundry, you walk out your back door, you look up, you turn around, you walk back in, and it's dry.
Yeah, I'm in Phoenix.
Yep, that's dry.
Yep.
Oh
yeah,
my
what's
gosh,
about no
Phoenix.
humidity? Ben knows about no humidity. Our average humidity percent on a humid day that it's not raining and it's kind of humid is 14%. A typical day is like 8 to 10.
I'm in San Diego, so it's not uncommon to on a road trip to travel through Phoenix. And one of the times I traveled through Phoenix was an event with teenagers, and we had an RV, and we were going rock climbing and all sorts of fun stuff to the Four Corners. We did a bike trip around the Four Corners too at the time because I was a healthier specimen back then. But we broke down in Phoenix as you were to exit the DeVry, where DeVry College was, and it was the dead of summer, and I thought I was gonna die. Like they were debating, like the guys on the trip were debating on how to change the tire and stuff like that, and they got a jack that was not the right weight. I was like, oh my gosh, and I pulled the guy underneath because it fell and broke. It was so scary. And then one of the kids has ADHD, and he decided to put a box on his head and started running around, and we're on the side of the freeway, and I'm like, no, get over here. And it was just like, and then the whole time I'm like, I'm gonna die of heat exhaustion. I'm guzzling down water. It's just like, this is horrible. So
it's amazing, because people say the temperatures haven't gone up, but when we were kids, if you didn't need AC in your cars, you just didn't. Where I lived, I lived kind of in the mountainous area. You didn't need AC. There was, even when it was sunny, there was a cool breeze. And I feel like the hottest it ever got when I was a kid was like 84, 85 or something. Never got really hot, 78 was like the average summer, which is like the best temperature in the world, 78 degrees, good breeze. I want to put this up because juniper was the other one that grows here. And I don't know where you are, Miss
Amarose
Moon.
is in the hellmouth of America, and it's really hot there.
It's who?
Omarosa is in the hellmouth of America. It's really hot there.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Well, I live in New Mexico, so I was just trying to get a comparison of the what is a desert to you? What is a desert?
Well, there's different kinds of desert. There's high desert.
Yeah.
There's low.
Yeah,
desert.
see, I'm in the high desert.
Yeah, high desert's great. Like high
Yeah.
desert's great.
There's always a breeze. It's amazing. If
Low
the breeze
desert.
stops, you go, oh, there it is. Like it'll start right back up. It's like I've actually walked out of my house before and went, something's wrong. Oh, there's no breeze. Oh, there it is. Like literally 2 minutes and it starts back up. But it's nice because it's usually a cool breeze because it comes off the mountains. So it's, you know, if it's going like southeast, the breeze is going southeast, we get cool air off of the Rockies and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Yep. Damn it, Ben, don't look so intense. What are you doing over there?
I know Ben's like,
Intros. Picking music for my intro.
oh, okay.
It's hard to find that good license-free music.
It's
Yeah,
very hard.
I'm paying a little bit of money with an app that's helping make this intro. So
Yeah.
Well,
I need
yeah,
to
I
find
have.
some music
If
for my
you
channel.
need any help with that, Ben, you know, we discussed it before. Just hit me up, man. Literally poke me because I'll not poke you. You know.
Ow.
okay.
Yeah, quit poking people. Jesus, man, that's mean.
He's very pokey.
God.
Says Dr. Ben with the gloves, and we're not going to talk about their fascination with internal medicine. All right.
The gloves.
Yeah, but have you ever
Gloves.
snapped the gloves? You know, with the
That's
put it on?
the thing. They make me
That's
snap
that's
the
the
gloves in
only
front of-
gloves.
That's my
Yeah.
OnlyFans. Like I started an OnlyFans because tons of mice pressured me to do that.
Come on.
So I have an OnlyFans now.
Such
Well,
a
I'll
girl
have to
cat.
bounce
She keeps
in.
changing her mind.
I'll have to bounce soon. I just wanted to jump on, say hello, show B some love, and all the rest of it, and then tell him that they're an asshole. You know. So
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Same. You're an asshole too.
Yes.
Hashtag raisins. Hashtag raisins.
Hey, you're the only asshole allowed on here. Just like Dick's the only dick allowed on here.
Yeah.
No other dicks are allowed. Only your asshole, Robbie.
B. Thank you very much as
I-
always for having
I've
me.
had a few different jobs.
Thanks for stopping by, buddy. I appreciate you.
Lots of love. Talk to you later.
One of my jobs, I was a grocery store clerk, and there was a guy named Dick, and I loved, and I was very mature. I was probably like 20, and I was like, I loved to run over to the thing and be like, Dick, there's a phone call for you. just to be able to say that. And some
Dick,
people would be like,
Dick to aisle 4. Dick to aisle 4.
well,
Oh,
like,
I
what?
would have had
His
too
name's
much
Dick.
fun with that shit.
I lived in Fort Wayne, where Oz is from, for many years, and a beloved mayor that was mayor for, gosh, a decade or so. His name was Harry Balls. And his wife's
Shut
name,
up.
I kid you not. In fact, they even wanted to rename something, the city hall, Harry Balls City Hall, but people decided that was
They couldn't use Harold or something else.
his wife's name was Minnie.
Oh my god.
I relate.
that's
I relate.
awesome.
Well, on the Shills chat, the YouTube's auto censoring keeps the moderators busy because if anybody types dick without the @ sign, it automatically censors it, and one of the
Yeah.
moderators has to approve it.
That's hilarious.
There you go, Ollie. Dick, clean up on aisle 7. Dick, clean up on aisle 7. Keep putting them out there. I'll keep saying them. This is fun. Yes, I am a 12-year-old boy. I think the word dick is funny still. So
It is a funny word.
it's a funny word. It's great, you know? Like,
I think penis is funnier.
either
penis is
one
a
is
funny
funny.
word.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like cock is more for like sex, you know? But when you're just being a smart ass, penis and dick work great.
I mean,
Yeah.
like
Probably-
there's even funnier words like winky. That's like really
Oh, yeah,
funny
there's-
things.
But that's, but see, guys don't use winky because that sounds really tiny.
It does.
You know, it's more like, I mean, wiener doesn't even work. That still sounds too small, like a hot dog, even though that's probably more realistic for half the men out there. So they have to go. You got to go big or go home.
Baby carrot.
Yeah, baby
stuff like
carrots. Oh, I've seen one like that. Is that big?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a really important question.
That big.
Yeah, Rev.
Yes.
Rev News. Yeah.
What do I want to eat?
What do you want to eat? Something that involves meat, Ben.
Do you want to eat
feel like it's a
healthy
safe
or
bet.
unhealthy? Or do we have to be good, make good choices here or bad choices?
Ice cream.
I'll
Always
volunteer.
ice cream.
I'll volunteer.
Ooh, I could put coffee on Cocoa Puffs.
Thank you,
I could do
Grandma.
that.
Okay, so I was asking about good choices. Coffee
Jenny,
on
Jenny,
Cocoa
Jenny.
Puffs. Okay.
Yeah, that's the next. Instead of beers and bros, we're gonna do, or instead of Beerios, he's gonna do coffee with some kind of chocolate cereal. And I said that one I will fucking do with you. That sounds delicious.
Okay, maybe I should save that one for Beers and Bros then. We'll wait on that.
When were you gonna do it?
No.
Oh,
but I'll wait. I'll wait for you
no,
to do it.
dude, I want to do it with you. I gotta get some
Okay,
chocolate
yeah, we'll
cereal.
do that on Friday. We'll do that
All
on
right.
Friday.
Sweet.
Okay.
Good deal, bro. All right.
But like I haven't been needing to buy food because like I eat in the doctor's lounge every day. So like why go buy groceries if food's free and it's like
Seriously.
good food? Yeah. So I eat like shit for dinner in the evening, but like everything else is free.
Free's good.
Yeah.
There you go. Omaros. Yep. There's dildo. That's another one.
I hope that's answering the funny words question, not the what should I eat question.
Dildo.
We're not suggesting you eat a dick. No, that would be just wrong, really.
But he could eat a hot dog.
But you could have a wiener.
We're not
Yes.
suggesting
I could
eat
have
a
one.
dick, but a bag of dicks. No, that's different.
Yeah, like a bag of hot dogs, right? A bag of dicks. Is
Bag.
okay. Right.
Isn't that what Skylar yells? Eat a bag of dicks.
Yes, he does.
Skylar.
Yes, that would be Skylar. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, everybody that came in, I want to say thank you to you all. I really appreciate it. And Sammy is here. I love Sammy. He's a little cutie. And Ollie and all you guys and Ox and Ollie Income Free. Everybody's here. Sweet. It's beautiful. That is great. If you guys, any of you want a link, shoot me a message on Twitter and I will get you one. Otherwise, you're SOL. Okay. That's it. That's all I have to say today.
All right.
That's it. I'm done. The rest of the show's yours.
You're done passing it over to us.
So
I'm in
Godless
charge,
Granny,
everyone.
I have never been in a hangout with you, but I've heard so many good things about
Oh,
you
thank you.
from Kitty the Atheist. She speaks
Ah,
really
okay.
highly of you.
I haven't seen Kitty in forever. She's great. She's
Yeah.
great.
She is. I just checked in with her the other day because I hadn't heard from her in a long time either. And she said she's got a bunch of stuff going on in her private life, but she's doing okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's good. That's good. I was wondering, I was starting to did she disappear? Do other people know this? And then I keep forgetting to ask people because I'm ADHD.
I was kind of wondering too, because she usually, puts something in the Twitter groups about the craft project she's doing.
When are people going to start realizing that what goes on here is far more important than anything going on in your private life, and you should not
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
you have a life other than this?
No, of course not.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Pause for a second. Sammy, you weren't linked. You didn't have the link to my. You're not subscribed to me. You know what? Kick him out. That's it. Ox, chuck him. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I love Sammy. Kind of offended though. I just wanted to put that out there.
That's it. My goodness.
I'd slam something, but I'd probably knock my laptop off. We're not doing that today.
So B, anytime you've come in my chat, I'm never sure if you're down with whatever I'm talking about, because every time it's been a lulz cow kind of situation and not an actual serious conversation or friendly conversation. I'm
It's true.
just
I
so
pop
you
in,
know,
I'm
this
what
is
the
not
fuck
all I
is she
do.
talking about?
I'm this is what this person said. 3-year-old should be aborted. And you're hi.
But the shit you do is pretty funny because I like how you go, what the fuck is this? What are you even talking about? Which is great. But at the same time, it is low hanging fruit. So
Oh yeah.
those people are easy targets.
I'm I can explain. I can have normal conversations too.
Yeah, no, that's good shit.
I used to be
so-
ashamed until people started watching Joe Exotic the tiger guy, and then I was like, okay, y'all are
Oh,
the same.
God.
Y'all the same.
Yeah, no, don't even go there. Hey, Ox, do me a favor and put in the chat there link for Holy Spackle and for Granny, and then everybody can find each other and everything.
Don't forget purple.
What's that?
Don't forget. Oh, I said don't forget purple, but I see he already got purple, so never mind.
Yeah. Oh, he's on the ball.
Yeah.
Ox is really good about. Well, he always gets my regulars, so the people that aren't here pretty much every night. I go, hey, don't forget them. That's basically what I'm doing right now. He always gets these three. They're here a lot, so yeah, it's true.
Holy Spackle, I have a question for you.
Oh, go ahead.
You mentioned in the interview that you were adopted, and I assume that you were adopted into a good home, and you had a fairly good life with your adopted family. Despite that, did you still have feelings of abandonment from your biological family?
That's a really good question, and I'll try to answer it the way I feel like I'm able to, because our stories, everybody's story kind of touches everybody else's story, and with family, like I want to be respectful, but at the same time, like there is my own story, right? So I would say this, that my mother is great, though doesn't talk often about personal things. And there's sort of a wall. So imagine a 1950s version of a mom, like she's sort of like in a different decade, right? Of just like, like everything's fine. We're not going to talk about this. That's not nice, kind of thing. And there's like these walls of communication there. But like as far as stability goes and having my needs met, definitely, great there. My father though was abusive, and he's dead. And like you mentioned, your dad's an asshole. I think it was like, well, me too. So
Yeah.
life wasn't hunky dory perfect. But I had some form of stability, and some instability kind of mixed in. But the abandonment thing is interesting because yes, so I got adopted at 2. And I had certain sensitivities even as a young person that I didn't know, obviously. And I guess apparently my understanding is if you're younger, and you don't have, I guess you don't have any cognitive memory of things on your toddler and stuff like that, it still kind of affects your bonding and how you connect with people and stuff like that. And so I'd say that I was not very bonded with my adoptive mother where my sisters were. And so that's kind of interesting, like hormones and things like that, like affect things and stuff like that. So there's a lack of bonding there where I wasn't as close. And I would, and I noticed that I could sense that, but yeah, I didn't have words for it. And then at 13, then you're in a crisis and you're just like, yes, you go through the why did you leave me? What, kind of the whole thing of like, is there something wrong with me? Was I created in a way? Was I had in a way that's bad? Like, you don't want to be a product of something that was like a violent act, or, you just have all these questions that run through of like, well, how is this accident had? So yeah, you go through a lot of different feelings, and abandonment would surely be one of them, for sure. And I just knocked something over. But yeah, like it's one of those things where it's difficult to process, especially if you're in an environment that doesn't allow you an openness to discuss it. So you end up holding it in, and then you have a blow up like at 25. And then you end up telling your therapist about it. So like, it's a real thing. So yeah, it's so even if it happens when you don't remember, then yeah, there's a sense of abandonment. But at the same time, you can argue yourself and be like, well, they chose to have me, which is, like there's positives that you can look at and kind of remind yourself like your value and, things like that. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, versus being like the 7th child and thinking, I definitely was a mistake. Nobody has 7 children.
Well, I'm number 5, and like it was like, can you take on one more?
I'm the youngest of 9.
Right. Ugh.
Oh,
9 is ridiculous.
Wow.
Jenny, what did you say?
I was going to ask, if your experience tells you that maybe it's better that adopted kids are not told that they're adopted.
In my experience, it's better that if you tell my experience, and I've witnessed friends that do adopt and watching how they interact with their adoptive kids is tell them younger and make it really positive and make it an open door conversation. Don't gatekeep and be like, and you can't know anymore. And this whole like, well, I'm your real mom. I'm the your, and make it frightening, and stuff. And if you could maybe be like okay with the idea of like, like letting that person kind of figure it out and tell them early and making it open dialogue, it'd be a lot less traumatic, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're going to find out at some point. At some point, they have to get a copy of their birth certificate for something, and they're going to find out.
I mean, if you adopt a child, you can get the birth certificate changed. That can happen, but there's going to be something at some point. Like let's say Johnny is adopted, right? And they never tell Johnny. And then Johnny is 23 years old and he's got a chronic illness that's genetic. And then they look at the parents and the parents have to go, oh, he's not really ours. Now, Johnny is 24 years old. Not only did he just find out that he's got a chronic illness or something really wrong with him and he needs help from his family with it, you're not my family.
Right.
Always, I think you should always tell the children. I'm sorry. I think that's how it should be. It should be because, okay, so this is the closest I can get to that, HS. When I was 6 years old, my brothers told me I was adopted. I believed them. Like they had me, they were like dead serious. No crack in a smile, no hint of any kind of sorcery, like everything seemed totally legit. And they were like, look, but you can't tell mom because it would really hurt her because she loves you just like you're her own. And she would never want you to think that you're not.
Oh, wow.
So don't tell her. And I was like, oh, well, I don't want to hurt mom. I loved my mom. So I didn't say a fucking word for like 2 weeks and I was miserable. I was 6 years old and I kept it in for 2 fucking weeks and I was miserable and I held it in and I held it in. And finally I just started crying right in front of my mom and she was like, baby, what's wrong? And I said, I know now. I don't know what to do about it. And she's like, what do you know? I said, I know I'm adopted. And she goes, what? And I said, Keel told me I'm adopted. And she's like, hold on, honey, you're not adopted. I gave birth to you. I remember I was there. You came out of me. We took you home. You're not adopted. And I was like, really? And she's like, no, you are not. You are my child. Like, look at you and then look at me and your dad. There's no doubt, Oh, they even told me that they went and found a baby that looked like my older sister, Susan. So I wouldn't know. And because her and I looked almost exactly alike growing up. I was like her little twin. We were inseparable and we looked exactly alike. So they were like, I was like, oh my God, that's why we look so much, because nobody else here looks like a twin but us,
I had so many people tell me.
Oh, they fucked with my head. But then I have to say the rest of it though. So my mom calmed me down and I was like, I'm mad at them. She goes, me too. And she goes, boys, like, what, mom? Come in here right now. Here's some candy. You go play. I'm about to spank the shit out of your brothers. Get out of here.
It puts you into like an identity crisis. Like it's and like
dude, it was
an abandonment and like just like who am I on this? What?
I was so confused. I was like, no. And all I could think in my head was, no. That can't be because these are my brothers and my sisters. Yeah. And we are like this family and we're a good family together. And there's no way. No. And I'm going, oh my God. I wonder if they know. Well, if those two know, the rest of them must know. So all this shit's going through my head and I just clamped down. I got totally quiet for almost 2 weeks before I couldn't handle it anymore. So I can't imagine having that like affirmed. You get told that and you're like, oh, that's mean. And then somebody goes, no, it's true. Like that is the part that I don't understand from that point forward.
Well, it gets even weirder because my mother sent my sister to tell me and didn't tell me because there's such an emotional constraint there that she couldn't, and she always found me very unpredictable emotionally, and just because I'm different, like for whatever reason, like I'm like them in some ways and very like wild card in another way. So she found me very unpredictable, and so she enlisted my sister to tell me, who's 10 years older, and I was 13, so she's older quite a bit, but like it was just really odd because then like it's like, well, this is a sister that hasn't lied to me in the past, but like then I had to go for confirmation and she had to have that conversation with me too. It just was the weirdest kind of dynamic there. And I
Yeah, that's bizarre.
looking back, I go, please tell them early and make it an open dialogue and not something that's
Right.
like taboo and bad.
That was wrong to get your sister involved in that, though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, man. You don't do that's like getting kids involved in a divorce. What fucking asshole does that?
Well, you got to think though, like she's 10 years older than me, so she's an adult, and I'm
Yeah,
13.
but still,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
that's still one of your children.
Yeah.
Your child shouldn't be your messenger.
Oh, it's stressed out, and then like people are crying because they don't know how to like how to process it themselves and be like this is the thing, and so you're like, well, I can't hurt your feelings and ask more questions because you're just gonna fall apart. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, and I just kind of like ate my feelings. Like I'm just gonna just put it in a bin here and compartmentalize it and move it over. So I'm not allowed to feel anything.
Wow, yeah.
But so like I would say like the best thing is to have an open dialogue and to not be scared, and like maybe it's emotional for you, maybe you have fears or whatever. I think a lot of people have fears like they don't want to hurt you and you don't want to hurt them, and like then all of a sudden there's like, well, we can't talk about this because somebody might get hurt, so.
And it's funny how it works because I've met people in my life that are really good people and their families are horrible, like horrible brother, horrible father, mother doesn't say anything. They do whatever they want. They yell and pick on and, like mentally abuse this person. And they're like over here going, man, I wish I was adopted. And I could just say I am not genetically connected with these people.
That reminds me.
And then there's the other people that are adopted and they're like, man, I wish I was genetically connected to my parents. Yeah. So it's just so fucking crazy. Like if there was a God, you'd think he'd just line that up so the ones that want to be adopted could find out later, oh, you're really adopted. These people suck. Yeah. That would be a good way for it to happen.
It reminds me of that old movie. I'm a big classic movie fan. Like I love movies in general. Like I'm a movie nerd. But there's an old movie called Arsenic and Old Lace with Cary Grant.
Oh,
and Cary Grant has this really crazy family. And I know that's probably not the term that's politically correct, but I mean, yeah. Go with me.
Whatever.
and you have this uncle that's running up and down the stairs dressed as Teddy Roosevelt screaming charge. And you have like these two little old ladies that are poisoning old men that they think are lonely widowers, and they're like putting them out of their misery, and they have a whole bunch of dead bodies, and there's this other guy that like tortures people for fun, and Cary Grant's like, oh my gosh, my family's insane, and he's got his fiance and he's trying to handle it, and then he finds out he was adopted, and he's just ecstatic. He's like, I'm adopted. I'm not even like these people.
Yes!
Like, yes, I'm not a Brewster.
My dream came true. I'm not related to you assholes. See, there you go. That's what you need right there. Oh, Jenny, something's bumping into your speaker or something. It's crackling really bad. No, that's great. See, but would it be great if just like life worked out like that? That if it just fell in line, like, oh, this like the person that gets pregnant who doesn't want the baby is the one that has the miscarriage, not the ones that actually want the babies.
Right? Like
wouldn't that be great?
Talk about like, questioning loving God. You see these abusers that have kids and they don't even like.
Right. And then there's the good couple down the street that love everybody and are like the best aunt and uncle because they love children and they can't have any.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
But God works in mysterious ways.
Oh my God.
I've always found that really upsetting.
GAWD. God.
Yeah. When I was born, the oldest three were already teenagers. And I think my parents had just kind of had it with having kids, so I pretty much wound up being raised by the older siblings.
That happens in large families, and even in my family of 5.
Happened in mine. My mom was cooking all the time.
Yeah.
My sisters pretty much raised me, and they're 9 and 8 years older than me. They were like mom number 2 and number 3.
Yeah.
We were kind of the other way around. I did my best with my oldest 2, but I was working full time. And so they both had nannies that came to the house. But when I got pregnant with Robin, I quit my job and stayed home all the time. And so I spent more time with Robin than I ever did with the older 2.
Right. Yeah.
I feel I was usually just lost in the shuffle, that everybody assumed someone was watching me, so no one ever was.
Mm.
Oh, well, they call that the lost child.
Yeah.
In the
Just nobody
psychology
realizes it.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I grew
supposedly
up
the
in a
lost child
house that
too.
always had at least
No.
a dozen people, and I feel I pretty much grew up neglected.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, I understand that, Purple, because, like before my sisters moved out, they moved out the same year because one of them graduated high school early because she was brilliant. And so they both left the same year. And so when I was 8, or no, yeah, no, I was 9. I'm sorry. When I was 9, like I was 8, my parents got divorced. And then I was 9 and both my sisters left the house, went off to college. And I was like, what do I do now? I don't have anybody to hang out with. Like, mom's always busy. Mom went back to school, so she was like doing college and mom stuff. And my brothers had their friends. And my other brother, Walt, just read books all the time and wanted to be left the fuck alone. And then I just looked at, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was absolutely fucking lost.
Yeah. If you go from like a full house to like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I started becoming a pathological liar so people would pay attention to me. I would
really?
make stuff up so people would, when I was
But
like 9 years old.
But did you believe your own
No, I knew it
lies?
was bullshit. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
because a lot of pathological liars
they were
seem to
bad
believe their
lies. I've
Okay.
never been a good liar. Every single time I did it, my mother knew it and spanked me. Because I would like swear by it, and then she'd go one step further, and I'd go, all right, and give up.
Why did you do it? Do you think?
I was just a bad liar.
But
I always
why?
have been.
The thrill of it, or
No, I just wanted attention. I wanted someone to fucking pay attention to me.
okay.
When my sisters left, they were the only two that paid attention to me all day. So I felt
was a
like
kid, it was always to get out
this
of
was
something.
happening around
Yeah.
me, and I wasn't any part of it.
I was like, I don't know. Did you put gum on my table? I don't know, like baby mama.
I don't
just watched you put gum underneath my table. No, maybe it was someone else.
I never did shit like that. No, I gave in right away. Like, mom would call my bluff, and I would give in and take the punishment. And then I kept lying more, so the punishments. Oh, good, Jenny came back. So the punishments got bigger and bigger because I continued to do it, despite. But she was paying attention to me, so somewhere in the back of my brain, I took that.
I grew up in the 80s, so corporal punishment was still acceptable, pretty much.
Yep.
I was born in 71.
Yeah, 79 here. So my mom realized though that I was really numb to spankings. Like I just didn't care. And so then after breaking a wooden spoon, she realized like she doesn't care if I spank her. So she figured out what bothered me, and that was isolation. So abandonment. Actually, which is really kind of sad when you think about it, like in those terms. But like it was isolation. If you put me in the corner and said I had to stand in the corner and face the corner, I would be miserable and I'd break. Just that. And I would, but I was usually a pretty good kid. I would try, but like I was a kid, like, we get goofy.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's true.
I got blamed for things I never did. I got punished for stuff I never did. I got away with a lot of stuff I did do. So I grew up with absolutely no connection between my actions and any consequences.
So I grew up with this moral construct of like Christianity, but like a view of Christianity that was very consequential. So it's like you do something bad, all this bad stuff's going to happen, maybe hellfire. But and because
hellfire happens all the time.
I was already sort of in my personality an anxious person that would jump to the worst conclusion. Like everything would just kind of jump from, you failed a test, I will fail at everything in life. Like this huge jump, because these catastrophic jumps. And like I look back at it now and I go, wow, like if we could just walk down some of these wild theologies of I don't know, even something simple like Ray Comfort, like you told a lie. And what does that make you? A liar. No, it makes you somebody that told a lie. Your whole being is not a liar. If we could walk back some of these ideas and actually make sense of them, that would be great.
I would absolutely love to face him with that question, because my response would be, that is a dishonest question, because no human can answer that question truthfully. Yeah. Because no one can know everything that they have ever said. and know whether or not everything they ever said was true or false, and know whether or not they knew whether it was true or false at the time that they said it.
Well, you could
Ooh, I
even
like you, Granny.
some people will
It's fucking
qualify a
amazing.
lie as like something that you know is a lie and then you tell it versus a accidental mistruth, right? So some people
Right.
qualify it like that. And even if you qualify it like that, like have you ever told a lie? Every human being has told a lie. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
It does not mean that the whole entire, like I don't look at you and go, you had a problem with lying as a kid, so now you're always going to be a liar, like, no matter what.
I can't even
You know.
tell a lie now. I hated myself so much. I was like, I'm never going to be that person again. And that was only like 3 years after I started doing it. I just decided I was never going to lie again. And anytime I went to lie, I'd go, what the fuck are you doing right now? You trying to be a fucking dumbass again? Like, quit lying. So I beat myself up about it so much that I have trouble lying now. I will try to lie and the truth falls out of my mouth.
Everybody.
I literally did that to myself.
Everybody lies. It's just a human condition.
Well, I'm not talking about like little white lies that you tell so you don't hurt people's feelings. I do that because I don't want to hurt someone. It's unnecessary and unneeded, and why hurt that person? So if it's not anything that's any pertinent information, I will absolutely lie to spare their feelings if I know that's what they need at that time. But otherwise, like lying about everyday stuff, no.
Then that is a lie, and you are human. All humans lie. It is
That's what I just explained to you when I lie.
Yeah, I understand, but we still lie. It's just what you can.
Yeah. Oh, everybody lies. Yeah.
However you want, but a lie is still a lie, and everyone does it, and always has, and always will.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Oh no, I wasn't disagreeing with you. I was just telling you my form of lying. How I lie.
That's where the religious issue of a lie being a sin and sending you to hell winds up being a whole big tangled web.
Oh yeah. Well, and I have a problem with like how people view humanity under that lens. Like your whole identity becomes this thing. It's a huge chunk of your identity now that is sin. Yeah. Which I don't agree with. So.
Oh my God, stool. That's all I can say to that. Is oh my
I was
God,
wondering
stool.
if you knew anything about that deal.
All I heard was "Oh my God, stool," and I thought you were talking about medical stuff.
No,
not shit. Well, I mean, he can be a little shit, but that's not who we're talking about.
So if we have tons of mice who's obsessed with my snappy gloves, we have Stool who is obsessed with me eating Indian food.
And Mice is also obsessed with buttholes.
Oh yeah, and Mice
Don't
is
forget
obsessed
about
with
that.
buttholes. Yeah, that's true. So we get this weird thing where they're all obsessed with me with snappy gloves, doing rectal exams, and then somehow Indian food got into this mix as well, and it's just a mess.
So for your rectal exams, you said you have OnlyFans.
No, just for gloves.
Rectal exams.
It's not for rectal exams. No. It's just gloves.
It's literally just me putting on gloves.
Or
like that's literally it. Marie,
there is a whole doctor fetish zone for people.
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Ben, are you saying that the act of putting on rubber gloves, if you put on rubber gloves, it's a turn on to stool? What?
It might be.
They just thought it would be a good idea that he could make some money off of it and not have to be like exposing himself or anything. I said, hey, do it if it works, put it towards med school and then towards your loans that you're going to have later, just if it's extra money, just throw it in there, man. Now he'll go buy more meat first.
Yeah.
Now, food always comes half first. A rack of ribs, I could buy a whole rack.
Food always comes first. That's number one. Number one rule of bro code is food comes first.
Food is first.
Yes.
It's always first.
Absolutely. I'll remember that.
Well, it's been fun, but I need to get going.
I was just about to say, yeah.
Okay. So thank you for having me, B. It's been fun.
Good night,
yeah,
Granny.
It's always great. You're always welcome, honey. Every Monday and Wednesday night, you're welcome here. And I appreciate you. Thanks for coming by.
Kiss, hug.
Stool, wait a minute. Stool said, Jenny, don't be a perv. Seriously? pot calling the kettle what?
Stool is concerned about perversion.
I know. That's what don't be a perv, Jenny. Really? Really? Cast
all
iron
right,
pot
Stool.
calling the cast iron kettle.
I never know what I can say on other people's channels, so I'm like, can I say
Oh no,
this?
we don't.
So-
No, just don't be a dick. That's my rule. You can joke around all you want. Just don't be picking on anybody particularly. I don't care. But we can pick on Stool. That's legal.
That's
on
why
this
I
channel.
prefaced my Baptist story, because I was like, can I say this? I can talk about Baptist summer camp, how we paddled to the cove to make out. That was a thing.
Oh, nice.
And how suddenly
Nice.
Baptist girls were like, yeah, I'm lesbian on the side here once we get to the cove. but after, no, everybody's straight.
How's that joke go? Do you know what makes women lesbians? And everybody's like, no, what? And they're like 4 drinks and a shot or something.
Jeez.
Oh, I always thought the answer was men.
I've met lots of men in my life that I've thanked. Thank you. Thank you for making women grossed out by you so I can have more of them. Thanks. I'm sorry, Purple.
I thought the answer was college.
Yeah.
Same. You can use
Everybody's
that too.
buying college.
Yeah, everybody's buying college, right? It's true.
There is a shortage of non-gross men, and maybe I'm sexist. I don't know. I could be sexist, but like I don't know
most men are gross.
I don't know a single woman that pees in the sink, but I've met plenty of men
Oh
that do.
yeah, what do they do that for?
You see a guy peeing in a sink when there's a toilet, or God forbid you have to go really bad. They don't go outside by a tree. They pee in your sink. You get rid of that motherfucker.
I feel like the tree is acceptable.
My business partner, we had a single gender bathroom in where we worked. Okay, in our building, and this SOB would go into the bathroom, close and lock the door, and then piss in the sink when there's a toilet literally within a foot. It's like, what's the point?
I know why. His dick was really tiny and it splashed too much in the toilet because he was tall.
Yeah, it was a long distance.
How can he not realize how bad the sink smells because he pisses in it? You know,
Wow.
the pee trap ends up with pee, and it stinks.
I mean, come on, man! You're supposed to clean things there.
Yeah, like what if you drop something in the sink and now you're touching his?
Yes,
the sink's already dirty enough, but now it's extra dirty.
No, pee and shit can't do it.
I discovered it. You know, you could smell it, so you always wondered what the fuck. Pubic hairs. I found pubic hairs in the damn sink.
Student men, have you ever discussed whether or not if somebody's stung by the jellyfish, if you should pee on them?
We do not cover that in medical school, unfortunately.
You can also make a poultice out of baking soda and apple cider vinegar or something like that too. It helps. It feels cool on your, keeps it more cool on your skin. Or maybe it was, I think one time I might have tried peroxide and baking soda or something. I don't remember. It was a long time ago, but I got stung really bad. I used to get stung in Virginia all the time. Me and my nieces always fucking got stung in the water. I literally had one wrap around my arm. I pulled my arm out of the water and it stayed there for a minute and then slid really slowly like down my arm.
Oh no.
So it was from here all the way to the tips of my fingers. All the way around my arm.
So I got
one. Fucking wonderful.
I got one not on my leg, on my inner thigh. Like it had gone through the wave and then just like went slap and got stuck in my inner thigh.
Bam!
And I had to wear the most loosest clothes ever for the longest time because it just was welted and swollen. Like,
I can't imagine.
So
I did get it on my ribs one time. I did get one on my ribs one time. That shit fucking hurt too. But it was still, there wasn't as much of a burn, and the jellyfish didn't stay on me as long as it brushed against me. But it like staying on my arm, it was just as it was sliding off, and I didn't know what to do. Was I gonna grab it with my other hand? No. It stings you. So I'm like going, get off, and I'm in the middle of the fucking water in the ocean. There's waves, and I'm like, get off my fucking arm.
I was like, whoa, whoa, in the water. My friend's like, what? And then I crawl out of the water, like, because I'm like stumbling all over the place. And then I start rolling around on the sand. And she's like, what? Yeah. like, I don't understand what's happening.
Ow! Yeah, that shit hurts. The only chemistry I know is powdered sugar and ammonia nitrate. The fuck is that?
I don't know. It sounds like it's gonna blow up.
I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds dangerous. I mean, if I know anything about ox, it's probably dangerous.
Agreed, bro. Agreed. It's definitely. I mean, it is
ammonia
ox. You're
nitrate,
right.
isn't that basically pee again? I don't know what the powdered sugar does.
I don't know. He's trying to think if he was trying to make like a, I don't know, sugar poultice or something.
No idea. Do I want to know?
Depends how hungry you are.
I mean, I made sandwiches now, so.
Oh, could you make me one? Honey, could you go make me a sandwich, honey? Would you please?
Yeah.
Make me a sandwich.
But do you think you'd be happy as a sandwich?
God damn it!
It's totally acceptable for a woman to ask
Depends
a man
on who's
to make
eating
her
me.
a sandwich.
It depends on who the other partners are.
I ate a sandwich today, but it was a taco.
No, there's nothing wrong with a good taco.
A taco and a
Tacos are
sandwich
so
is kind of.
I think we have slid into the gutter.
but you know.
I think we have officially slid all the way into the gutter right now.
I really like Taco John's. You guys got
So all he wants to know if it works, Ben.
I don't know.
Okay, ox, what's a sea wasp?
No, ox, or I mean, who asked that question? CDN? No, every professional physician I have ever spoken to about this that actually had enough knowledge to answer it, meaning they lived on the coast or something, says absolutely not. It is a complete myth. Don't believe it unless you're into peeing on people at the beach.
Yeah, then go ahead and have fun with it.
It's just
No, really, it
Yeah, see,
works.
People on the beach.
I'm from Colorado and I live in Arizona now, so like there's no access to jellyfish for me.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's
I've
snake
never
bite
had to deal with
questions.
those kind of things because it's in the Midwest. We don't have many ocean front.
So let's say you're going hiking, Ben, and you get bit by a snake, and let's say it's in an inconvenient area.
Mhm.
Just pick an area that's inconvenient. It doesn't matter. What do you do?
911.
And just sit
Go
still,
to the
right?
go to the
Go to the
closest first aid
hospital.
station you can find. Ask for an EpiPen.
Well, if you're in a
and
big
then-
long hike, they say the more you move, the more the stuff like the venom spreads, right? Like so.
Well, I mean,
But
if the longer you stay, like I would rather take the risk, like if there is a risk of that, to move and to get to a place that can help you than to not move and to not get help. Because like at the end of the day, it's going to be the hospital that's going to save you. So,
right.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to save you from a legitimate rattlesnake bite is anti-venom. It will kill you twice, unless it's a very minor bite and it didn't inject much venom, but you have no idea of knowing how much it put in. So you get your ass to the hospital ASAP, and you have somebody call in advance, if possible, to let them know that you got a snake bite victim coming in so that they can get the anti-venom. They don't necessarily have it right on the shelf.
Yeah. That's so funny. Like, I have the worst luck with rattlesnakes. So, or maybe the best. I have had so many incidences with rattlesnakes. I can't even
Really?
I don't know how it happens, but like I was once talking to a friend. I'm in Southern California here. I was talking to a friend as I exited out the door and I'm stepping out. I stop and make a smart ass comment, and my snark and smart ass comment saved my life. Well, I probably wouldn't die anyway. It's just a rattlesnake. It's not like anything like but still, it's not a good time. My foot is in the air and the rattlesnake's below my foot as I'm walking out the door. I'm like, they're finding me. Like I go hiking, I'm hopping over a rock, rattlesnake. Like all the hikes that I've done, rattlesnake. So like I have had many near misses, thank goodness. But like, yeah, I don't know. At this point, like I've had so many close encounters with rattlesnake, I just assume that like there's something about me.
I'm hoping not to have an encounter with a rattlesnake. Like my grandpa was a snake catcher for he came to the Mississippi River and would catch rattlesnakes because there was a bounty on them in those days. And he would milk the venom and then kill the snake and get the bounty and sell the venom.
Nice.
And I'm in one of the 2 counties in Minnesota where there are rattlesnakes. And I've been waiting to see one. I haven't yet. And I hope I never do.
Do a lot of
Same.
hiking, or if you do rock scrambling. If I used to be in the rock climbing, like you'll find them. They're there.
Yeah. That's why I haven't seen them. They're up in the rocks on the hills on the south facing side of the hills, and
Although
Yep.
I'm
even-
down in town, and I'm just not likely to see them. Although they have been seen in town.
even the rattlesnakes we have around here aren't that venomous. About the only ones you really have to watch out for in Minnesota are the water moccasins.
I didn't know
Well, I'm
you
gonna
guys
tell
had
you,
water
we had-
moccasins. Wow.
We had rattlesnakes, water moccasins, copperheads, and there's another one I can't think of where I grew up in West Virginia in the mountains. We were in the Appalachian Mountains.
That's because you're in the desert, which is like Australia and everything there.
No. When I lived in West Virginia, it was like that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, here, there are rattlesnakes here. I have not,
And
knock on wood, I have
Scorpion,
not met one without being in a vehicle.
and tarantulas and black widows and
Oh my God, don't even get me started. I'm gonna tell you what, those tarantulas ain't getting in this fucking house.
Yeah.
Nope.
Swimming in some of the lakes right around Minneapolis, I've been in the lake and I've had water moccasins go by just a few feet away from me. Generally they won't bother you if you don't bother them, but
We came upon this when I was a kid. We came upon this cottonmouth that had just, like, as we walked around the corner and the tree moved out of the way where we could see in the water, had just grabbed this fucking kitten off the shore. And my brother Keel, he was fucking crazy. He went over there and grabbed that thing and held it by the base of its mouth, so he had more control over the head.
Drop it.
And he fucking squeezed it, and he stabbed the damn thing and killed it and got the kitten out of the jaws and fucking threw it in the water. He always had a pocket knife because we were country folk. You always have a pocket knife in your pocket. It's a rule. And so he got the kitten out of there, but the kitten died anyways. They already injected the venom into it. But
I was little too, so probably.
yeah, it was like this big. It was a little
No.
pure white kitten. First one I'd ever seen in my life that was pure stark ass white little kitten with a little pink nose.
It was like neurotoxins and hemotoxins, right? And so most rattlesnakes are hemotoxin, I think it is.
I don't know.
Something like that. Where they just eat your flesh up.
Well, it's kind of like that's like brown recluse. Then you get bit by a brown recluse, they have to melon ball your skin because you can't stop it. The acid will just continue to eat.
it's mostly the bacteria from the recluse that gets you.
Really?
Yep.
I don't even know. Okay.
You said melon ball, so I'm just cracking up because I'm like, scoop.
That's basically what they use, though. Ben, you've seen it, right?
Mhm.
The scoop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that happen to a friend of mine on her ankle, and she was a pretty hefty gal, and so she had really muscular legs because the heavier you are, the bigger your legs are. She had to carry all that weight around, so she had really muscular legs, and they had to melon ball the side of her leg right above her ankle. It was just enough room to grab it. It was like getting to her tendons and stuff. She would have been fucked in like another week.
I had
But
a
they
spider
melon
bite
balled
that
her.
they lanced. They didn't melon ball it, but they lanced it, so like it swelled up like all the way, kind of like Hellboy style, and then I had like these streaks going up.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
that's because. Yeah,
That's
What's that?
bacterial.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been by pretty much every species of spider we've got in the Midwest because so much of my work involves, getting into crawl spaces and things.
that's why I won't do it. Purple. Fuck that. And I'm claustrophobic. I'm not
Well,
doing
you
it
have
also.
you have Gila monsters out there. They bite you, and all the bacteria from them will kill you too. So it's like a Komodo dragon.
No.
Yeah.
They're big and they can kill you, and their jaws are real nasty. But mostly it's the intense dose of bacteria you get from them that kills you.
Yeah.
So we have 2 desert dwellers, and then I'm in like sort of desert ocean area, right? But y'all have what we have, which is tarantula hawks. Have you seen one? Those things scare me.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
They're
big.
They're like iridescent looking. They're huge, and
Yeah.
they scare me.
I'm gonna tell you I'll tell you guys the biggest spider I've ever seen in person in my life. It was about 12 feet away from me, maybe 14, and there was this big fucking tornado coming through. Right? I know I've told this story before, but it's cool. There's this big tornado coming through our area, so we all went down in the basement. and we grabbed the camping chairs and shit that were on the front porch, and we took them down there, and we were like, all right, we're going to stay here. And we closed the door and shit. And next thing you know, so my nephew's sitting across from me, his wife's sitting next to him with the 18-month-old in her lap. And I'm sitting across from them, and we're just kind of chilling. And she looks over and she said, "Oh my fucking God." And I looked and I was like, shit. And it was on a concrete block wall. So the block was like this, right? Keep that about that size in your head. And the legs on this thing were out here.
No way. What?
I'm not kidding you. Its body was black and it was about this fucking big, like that wide, that fucking long. And it was
bird eating one.
It was like fuzzy black.
What was it?
I don't know. I'm telling you what I saw.
If you're not in South America, like
I grabbed the baby.
A tarantula, right?
Was in West Virginia. I was at their house in West Virginia. So I grabbed the baby and I go over by the stairs because I'm like, if that fucker moves, I'm going upstairs. Fuck the tornado. Immediate threat first, right? Well, the tornado wasn't there yet. So I grabbed the baby and Mario's going, "What the fuck?" My nephew, right? And she's going, "Mario, kill it, Mario." And he's like, "What the fuck do I kill it with?" Like, and he's looking around and there's just nothing he can throw, right? So he takes off his shoe and he throws it at the fucking spider. It misses the spider by that much. Spider didn't even fucking flinch. And then we were like, "Oh, fuck." That didn't even scare the goddamn thing, right?
The spider's
like, "That all you got?"
So yeah, it didn't even flinch. It was like, "Whatever, dude. It's raining out there," and it was pouring, and the ground was flooded. I know that's why it came inside.
Oh
and they had a
He's
crack.
trying to save himself.
Yeah, they had a crack in their concrete wall over there, the main wall, and I know that fucker came in through there. It was fucking huge. So finally, he finds a broom. And he has to get within broom and arm's length of this thing. And he's like this. And she's like, "I swear to God, Mario, if you don't kill that fucking spider, I'm burning down this house and divorcing you, Mario. I swear to God, Mario, you better hit that." And he's like, fuck. And I'm just standing there as a baby like, I'm about to go upstairs, man. Shit is fucking crazy.
Mario.
It wasn't a wolf spider. Wolf spiders in West Virginia are gray and brownish, blackish, grayish. They're like mixed color. But no, dude, this thing was pure jet fucking black, and it was fucking huge.
So
I'd never seen a spider.
Yeah.
Looked like something from fucking Australia. It just crawled out of the wall.
Oh God, Australia is terrifying. I was a camp counselor, like in high school and in college, quite a bit. We would have like two counselors per cabin, so that way it was like everybody felt safe, and like also kids are hard to manage, and we're young. And so I'm like, I'm gonna use the bathroom. Everybody's like, playing cards nice and being cool. So like, I'm gonna use the bathroom, and my counselor partner's like out there. So I go in the bathroom, and it's like, I hear screaming, like blood curdling screaming, like someone's being murdered. And I'm like, oh my gosh! So I rush out, and I look, and they're all huddled in the corner, and they're like, and I look, and above my bunk is a giant like tarantula. It's not as big as your tarantula, but like, oh my gosh. And I'm afraid of spiders. Like, I'm a bit phobic. And so like, they're terrified. And what are you going to do? Like, if you're in charge of kids, you have to take care of the situation, right? So I'm like phobic and scared of this thing. And I'm like, oh, I gotta pretend like I'm brave. And so I get a bucket and like this piece of cardboard, and I do this weird lunge towards it with the bucket, and they're like, ah! And then I hear it, and it was so horrific. I still remember it drops from the wall, boom, into the bucket. It's like a big thud sound, and it's like rattle, 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 rattle in the bucket. And I'm like, I'm almost like hyperventilating at this point. Like, I'm just like freaking out, and I slide this thing in there, and it's like rattle, 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 and then I like run outside with it, and I hurl it as hard as I can. And I don't know how I threw that fall, but I threw it really far. It goes thunk. And the thing still goes, yeah, this is cool, and starts running off. Like it like survived the huge throw, and like those things are indestructible. Like, you can chuck them, like it's, I don't know how many feet I chucked it, but it was pretty far. Like, it hit a few trees and rocks and stuff, and it was like, I'm still gonna run
Jesus.
off. You got a tarantula like that. It's on the wall or it's on the floor, and it's just sitting there. A hammer is a very vicious tool.
It's very messy too.
Well, so what? It's dead. You don't have to worry about it once it's smashed.
That's one of the advantages of living where it gets below zero in the winter. It keeps the invertebrates down to a manageable size.
I don't
Yeah.
think I could. I don't think I could do the hammer. That's too like at least with the bucket, like I couldn't kind of like it was like a shield sort of like the hammer. What if I miss and then it goes rah? Like like there's too many variables with the hammer. Sledgehammer maybe. I could do a sledgehammer if it's far enough.
It's harder to aim a sledgehammer than a regular hammer.
That's true. Oh,
Remember, you can hit a nail with a hammer. That's real tiny.
can I just throw the hammer and run?
Yeah, but a nail's not likely to jump when you swing.
What
It's
if he
not-
had a nail
yeah.
gun?
No, I don't think that's going to work either.
You know, I've looked for this spider before and couldn't find it, and now I wonder if like we killed like a rare breed of a spider or something.
Well, that's what I was saying. The description sounds like that bird-eating spider that's in South America. It eats whole birds.
Somebody
don't
do a
know.
Google
It's
search on
huge.
giant spiders in Virginia.
Yeah, no, I'm already looking right now, actually.
Oh man.
Actually, I found usually
Yeah.
the best way to identify spiders and insects is usually going to the university website for whatever state you're in.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'll try that next.
They often have a bug identifier there.
You can't. You know, I forgot about it. You killed it, and I never even went back down and looked at it. Honestly, I just totally forgot
in
until
Hawaii,
I moved out, and then I had to move out, and I thought I never went down and looked at that spider.
in Hawaii,
Go
they
ahead.
have these weeds that are like 6 or 8 inches long. They're really big, and they're toxic. I don't know if it's venom or poison, but they'll kill you.
Jeez. Yeah. Ugh. Well, that's why Australia scares me. Like you know, like I don't know if I could live in a place like that. Like everything's so deadly constantly.
Yeah, constantly. Right.
And if you go to New Zealand, just down the road, there's nothing there that kills you.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think that's what I heard once, is that there's nothing toxic or venomous in New Zealand.
Huh. I didn't know that.
I'm still
If they put
stuck
them by
on
size,
platypuses.
this would be easier.
I look at platypuses and I go, huh, what happened here? Evolution's so funny.
I bet platypuses
No.
would taste really good.
Wow. Is
Just
this where
don't do
we're
the
going?
poison ones.
Now, see,
You gotta eat the
Australia
females
is where
only.
they were dumping all the failed genetic experiments.
Oh man, is that where the Republicans came from?
I knew when you said, "Oh man," I knew it was something severely sarcastic. I
You know, in
love it.
high school, I was brainwashed, and I had a shirt called "Republican for Life." It said that, and I
Oh,
just wear it
no.
just to annoy people.
Well,
And
it was
then-
wrong.
And it was wrong. I'm not a Republican anymore. I'm a Democrat.
That's hilarious,
That's
though.
because you grew a brain.
Again, my cognitive emotional dissonance got to me.
Sorry, I'm investigating spiders. Carry on with the conversation. I'll be back with you in a minute.
We're stuck on spiders.
I wonder what kind of spider it is.
Well, that just sounds terrifying. Just the hugeness and
Oh,
the
it was
persistence
just-
of it.
Just huge. It was just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Never seen. And I grew up in the country and used to like wander the woods as a child. When I was 5 or 6 years old, I think I was 6. I walked into the house. I went up, grabbed my pillowcase off of my pillow, right? I threw in there a tarp, a rope, a flashlight, some batteries, a couple cans of soup, a can opener, and I tied it to a stick like a hobo. I'm not even kidding. This is how dramatic I was and ridiculous as a child. I have way too good of imagination. So I tied it to his, like, put it over my shoulder and started. I walked through the house like, this is how I'm going to let mom know I'm running away. And I just walked right through the kitchen. She goes, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm running away." And she said, "Okay, be safe." And I walked out the door and I went up into the field, went up in the hill on our property. And I set the tarp up and I tied it up between some trees, and it was raining while I was there. And I opened a can of food. Like, I already was I already in 1 hour went through half of my food supply. I mean, it's like 5 or 6. Sat there and ate it. I think I grabbed a can of corn because I love corn. And I ate the whole can of corn and I set it there and I just kind of hung out for like 2 hours or something. Hour and a half, 2 hours. And it was done raining. I packed everything back up, rolled it all up, put it back on the stick, walked home. I walked in the door. Went to put the can of food back, put the can opener back. Mom's like, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm good." And she was like, "Okay."
It's so funny, the whole like hobo thing with the stick, and then the how is that really functional? Like, have you ever thought about it? Like, is that a really functional way to tote your stuff around? Like,
well, compared to with no backpack, and you only have a pillowcase.
Yeah,
you still have a hand free. Otherwise, you'd be carrying it like this.
That's true.
You carry it like this for too long, your hand's gonna get sore and tired. Keep switching off. So that's a bindle stiff and not a hobo. Okay.
Bindle stiff. I call them train surfers. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's where I saw them at. You see the hobos when we're kids. They had like the hobos. They were in cartoons, or they were like the bum walking alongside the railroad tracks. Trying to get to the next city or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, except in our childhood, that would have been all replaced by hitchhikers. Why take a train when you can go grab a car?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
well, there wasn't cars back when they had the hobos. It was trains were the main form of transportation.
Homelessness is a problem in all the warm states because you don't freeze to death, right? Like, so like a lot of folks travel and migrate
we're not talking about homelessness on this channel.
Oh, we don't talk about that?
We are not talking about that on this channel.
Okay, as I was going to say, like in my city, like it's an ongoing thing. So
yeah, it is everywhere. We do not talk about this on this channel. I will not let B talk about this on this channel ever again.
I have strong opinions.
Okay.
I have empathetic opinions.
People don't care for them.
Let's just say that we talk about that. You're going to be giving B that T-shirt you mentioned.
Oh, Republican for life.
I am not a Republican. And I have lots of different thoughts about it. And
we'll have to have that conversation sometime, because it's something that like really worries me and concerns me. But I do I'm on the helping side, that people need to be helped. So yeah.
Oh, I agree too. I just think that some of the systems enable them.
Stop it!
So let's go back to spiders. Spiders were safe.
They do.
Don't do it.
Spiders.
I can always bring up a topic that I know the chat wants to discuss.
Okay, what if the spiders are homeless?
Buttholes.
Hemorrhoids?
Everybody always wants to talk about buttholes.
My butthole is a virgin. I'm just putting that out there.
I'm glad to know that now. I know your boundaries. That's good. It's good when you make friends that put your boundaries out there. Yeah. I think that was a little deep. But
yeah. What substances do they use for asshole bleaching?
Bleach?
I thought they usually use peroxide, but not something I've really looked into.
Well, I have zero experience at that, so I'm trying to ask a professional here.
I don't know.
Ox said, did you know that 48% of all spiders are homeless?
I love that's why I was asking.
I see what you did there, Ox.
Spiders were homeless.
I just want to point out that B murdered a homeless spider that was fleeing being drowned in a rainstorm and murdered the homeless spider.
You probably would have burned the house down, at least, and I didn't kill it. I had the baby. I was heading upstairs. I wasn't fucking with that motherfucker. I mean, I've seen the little ones jump like 2 feet. How far can the one that's that big jump?
How old were you at that incident, in that spider incident?
You what?
How old were you?
Oh my God. My nephew had a almost 2-year-old child. I was 34.
Oh, okay.
It's basically, it was a face hugger. That's how big it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like it's would have been like this, like
Yep.
would look like
Yep.
one of those alien things.
When you
or
say
something.
how far it can jump, exactly that far. Like,
How far can it jump? Too far for me to be near it. That's how far it can jump.
We get a couple of them, mostly the orb weavers, that can get about as big as your hand around here.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I thought about orb weavers when I saw it, but its legs were really thick. And orb weavers they all have those little skinny long legs.
Yeah.
All the ones that, any of the ones, like, what are they, like banana spiders or whatever? And they'll put up these big, huge, I used to see them in Florida. Matter of fact, there was a McDonald's in Florida that had, in between the two drive-thrus, it had two big bushes right there. And it had like the camera up there, right? And in between those two big bushes, there was this huge fucking web, and there was this huge spider. So I paid for my food. I had my arm out the window. It's Florida, right? I have my arm out the window. I go like this, and I roll up my window really. Yes, they were all roll up like this back then. This was like 90.
Yeah, well, the orb weavers
roll
like
that window up really fast. Huh?
The orb weavers like to build them by lights because the lights attract night flying insects.
Yes, and there was a light right there. You're absolutely correct, and the lights in front of the drive-through windows.
Yeah, that's when I was living in New York, that there was about almost 9 feet between the fence and the garden shed, and we had an orb weaver that would build a web across that whole span. That every night there'd be a web there about 9 feet wide.
I just want to point out a couple things. Is anybody from Florida before I say this?
I used to live there. I hate it.
Okay, so I don't like Florida either, but like I feel like we need to rescue people from Florida, like like Skylar fiction before it sinks into the ocean. But I wanted to say that there are so many deadly things in Florida that it is sort of our version of wannabe Australia. So there's there's all these spiders, there's the box jellyfish, there's the bull shark, there's there's all these things that could potentially kill you in Florida, just so you're aware. Like I think I counted 20 animals that are deadly in Florida. I was like, okay.
Yeah, there's lots of things that want to kill you in Florida.
And how many of those
including the rednecks that are indigenous there.
And how many of those are there because somebody let go their pet?
The stand your ground.
Oh
man.
my God, I can't
The
even
stand your
imagine.
ground
Almost everything
laws.
can live there, Jenny. Any pet you let go will thrive in Florida.
Oh, the pythons. Like the fact that they have all these pythons loose now rolling around. Like what?
And boas.
I saw a boa in Virginia, and it was released. Someone had it, got it when it was a baby. It got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then finally they said, "I don't know what to do with this fucking snake anymore." So they went down to the local pet store, who was family owned, and I got to know these people really well. I did some plainclothes security for them. Really good people. Like they were just animal fanatics. And they kept making it bigger and bigger and bigger. And they started it for their daughter, and she worked there full time as well, and was part owner. And so they gave up the snake to the pet place. And the rules they had was you give it up, you don't buy anything else here. You give up one animal, you don't buy anything else here. If you can't handle one animal, I'm not selling you anything. They just wouldn't do it. They didn't care about the sales. They were worried about the animals. So they built inside their reptile room, they built a whole section of the wall off just for the snake. It was an 18-foot boa. She was beautiful. She was huge. Like they had a tree in there. Like they found a downed tree that was like sitting on the side of the water. You know how it gets like the holes in it and all that cool shit from the water. And they put one of those in there, and they had like a kiddie pool sunk in the ground for this thing to get wet in. And it was huge.
How many do you figure pairs of boots you could make out of that thing?
Oh my God. 25? No, I don't know. I don't know how much skin it takes and how much they waste.
I think that they should have special licenses for exotic pets like that. And I think that boas and pythons should be moved to exotic pets. Sorry,
I agree.
Yeah.
Just because people don't know what they're getting into, and they don't. Yeah, the cost of it, and then
they fall into that category. Yeah. There's a lot of people who own, who are herpetologist fans, and they own venomous snakes, deadly fucking venomous snakes, vipers and shit. And they got these things living in their apartment. You want to have a viper living next door?
Yeah.
Fuck no. And I feel like, see, here's the thing. This is the difference between the retail world and the rescue world. Okay. Retail world, they don't ask you shit. You want to spend $500 on a snake? Yes, sir. Would you like a terrarium with that? You know,
Yeah.
they're going to sell you everything they can. You go to a shelter to go get something, they're going to go, okay, we need to make sure you can accommodate this animal at home. That's what I like. When they come, like I've had people come to my house, shelter people come to my house and make sure I had an appropriate living situation for a cat.
Yep.
So adopting our dog Sally, because we have a Boston already, adopting Sally was such a rigorous inspection of our place and us and everything. And it's great. I mean, it's fine. And we have her now. It wasn't like, scary or anything, but I would say this, like maybe we should be doing that before people are allowed to procreate.
Right.
Yep.
You
When
can
I
have
got
a pet
Sammyson
rock.
from the shelter, I had to provide references.
I
You can have
agree
a pet
with you,
rock, and then
Maya.
you can have a child.
What then?
The pet
You can
rock.
have a pet rock first, and then you can have a child. You gotta
Yes.
show that you can be responsible with a rock first.
Yes. Do like they do with the babies in high school, sack of flour.
Yeah.
You got to document when you change its diaper, when you fed it.
Oh, now they have these dolls with all kinds of sensors and shit that will measure everything, like how long it takes for you to respond to it starting to cry.
Is it bad that I immediately thought, congratulations, your baby's dead? Like, and the little eyes roll up.
Oh no.
You've lost the game. Beep. Like, I'm sorry. But, like, you imagine the sensor game. What happens if, like, they mess up? Like, what happens to the doll? What does it do?
I don't know.
So something I just learned about my YouTube channel with my analytics.
Ooh.
I love to look at what people search to find my videos.
Oh yeah, I never look at that. What are they? What
Well,
are they
I think
search for?
I think it's hilarious because like the last time I looked, I found out that people found me after searching sex doctor.
Snapping gloves, anal.
No, well, but this next one, I'm also apparently found when people search penis on YouTube.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I'll quit using that on your streams from now on.
Okay. So can you?
That's on you've been on my Twitch. You haven't been on my YouTube, so it's fine.
So how can you search that? I am ignorant. I don't know.
You have to go into the
people-
YouTube studio and look under algorithms, and there's all kinds
Yeah, you
of
go to
shit
your
in that section.
video analytics. It's under reach,
The analytics
and then
thing.
I didn't
will show
know
your
that.
traffic source, YouTube search, and then it'll show like what people search to find you.
I knew like you could say like a lot of my traffic comes from Twitter and Discord, right? But like I knew you could figure that out and how it's shared. But like I didn't know that you could like even see the algorithm. That's interesting. I learned something.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's I just think it's funny, like what people search to find my channel.
I know that some people have found me through Shanny for Christ, which is just shameful. So
I think it's quite reasonable to assume that no one has ever searched for my channel.
I found your channel and you Purple through Lavender Lady, and I found Lavender Lady through Bionic Dance. So
I've searched for your channel because it never comes up in my algorithm, even though I have notifications and all that shit set.
Yeah.
It just never comes up. It never comes up in the rotation, even though I'm always searching for it. You think it would take note that, oh, this is one that they want. Maybe we should post it for them.
Yeah, the notification thing on YouTube is just completely unreliable.
I think B's channel popped for me because of Math Pig, who I've been on his channel before, and then also it popped for me because of Richard Madison, who I had no idea who you were.
No I, Madsen.
Madsen? Okay,
No
sorry,
I.
Madsen.
Thank you.
Like I've been to his channel a few times too, not on air, but like interacting. And so I think between the two maybe, but I don't know. Maybe Math Pig, I don't know. Somehow you popped up in the algorithm.
Well, those two did like streams together for like a year.
Yeah.
So it was there for about 10 months. You really couldn't separate them. Like they were doing stuff together and mirroring on each other's channels and stuff.
That can't be one of the criteria, because I'm on Purple's show twice a week for forever. How long, Purple?
Yeah, for the last 2 to 3 years anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Hey, Jenny Ox wants to know if most reptiles in Florida are homeless.
I don't think anyone else can be homeless.
There is a homeless crisis in Florida of pythons and boas that are being released into the swamplands and the grasslands, and
There you go.
they are having a problem, so much so that they're culling them and killing them. So somebody tell Navardia that maybe she can set out a rescue mission, because I don't do snakes.
Well, one of the big things that happened with Florida was that there were several places that were breeding the pythons that got destroyed in hurricanes.
Oh,
so that effectively released thousands of baby pythons into the environment.
I didn't know that. I just thought it was irresponsible owners.
They will never control that population. Never. I mean, the entire Everglades is a perfect home for them.
Yeah, and they have actually found instances of the pythons eating the alligators.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
I heard gators are tasty. I've never had one.
Pythons are less dangerous to us than alligators are. You have more of a chance. You literally have more. I mean, like if an alligator grabs you, you're fucked. You're done. You're not going to just get out of his jaws and not have a broken leg or something.
The DNR actually found something like a 15-foot python dead there because it was trying to eat a 5-foot alligator and choked to death.
Well, Maya, it only spans so far.
Maya, what do you mean by pandemic puppies? I don't understand.
That's why I put this comment up here, because I want to talk about it. It's actually all these people when COVID started, they were like, let's get a puppy. And then they had to go back to work and they're like, oh, I don't want this puppy anymore.
Oh, yeah. No.
Oh, yeah, it's happening everywhere.
No,
and people
to be
called
fair, we did get a puppy during the pandemic, but it was like a planned puppy. It's so upsetting because they'll get the puppy and they're a lot of work, but they make it till about like 7 months where it's harder to get the puppy adopted out a lot of times, or a year. And the puppy often doesn't have the training. It's like like all over the place, and to get them readopted is so hard. Like it's ridiculous.
That is very sad.
It is. It's fucked up. And they were actually talking about that, the possibility of that happening on NPR months ago. And they said, all these people last year when the pandemic hit last spring, they all ran out and bought birds, and they brought puppies and kittens and all this shit and went crazy. Oh, we're stuck in our homes forever. And now they said this is going to happen. What are they going to do with them when they have to go back to work?
Yep.
And they have a puppy and a little kitten they can't do anything with.
This is why, no matter how much I want a pet, my life is not stable enough to do that. And it's not fair to any animal to have that kind of instability. I'm in medical school and I'm in the military. So everything's so up in the air for me. I would love a pet, but I can't do that to an animal. So pet rock for me, I will have a pet rock.
Yeah.
You could do a plant probably.
But that's okay, because you'll have that time when you get in a groove after you're got your MD, and you'll have a groove of work, and then you'll be like, all right, now I'm ready. And it'll be better that way, anyways, because the dog needs the time, and you need the time with the dog too. You don't get an animal because you don't want an animal. You know what I mean? So,
also, cats are easier. So when I had cats, and I like cats and dogs, but when I had cats, I could leave for the day, come back, and not feel guilty. They're fine. I could leave for the weekend, leave food and water. And
I do that all the time with mine. They don't give a fuck. They're like, deuces, are you gone yet? And then when I come back, they're like, oh, you're home.
Yeah.
And they're fine. And they just they're like, oh, you're back. Let me wake up. They've been sleeping the whole fucking weekend. That's why I love cats.
So much more work. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's
yes, they are.
Why did you leave me?
Always start out with a small cat. Huh?
That's how I'll pretty much stick with cats.
Oh, okay. What'd you say?
I could totally be a cat dad.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to have a dog unless you've got a yard, so they've got some room to run. So,
So So I generally think that, but I am in an apartment, and so we have a dog. We have a lot of dog events that we do. So like the dog gets like 5 walks because she's really high energy, and then there's like a dog park where she just runs like crazy, or we can take her to the dog beach where she runs like crazy. So like we try to get the running out as much as we can, but I mean it really kind of changes your social life and what you need to do. So if you have an apartment dog that you need to exercise, you really kind of have a life changing, like, this is my lifestyle now, and it's fine. It's been good for me because I struggle with depression and anxiety. And so, like, it forces me to get up off my ass and interact
Yeah.
and stuff. So,
That's a good idea, Ben. Start out with a house plant.
Yeah,
Just
I
have
could
to
do. I
water
could
it
do a
once a
plant.
day. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get a plant now because once you have a cat, they're going to eat the plant. So you'll have to put the plant up high. So
this is true.
get the plant little now, grow it up, and then hang it from the ceiling somewhere so the cat can't get it. I don't have any plants in my house because I'm not a big plant person. I usually kill them anyway, so it's probably good that I don't have any in my house.
there's this
Yeah.
one plant that's unkillable, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's got kind of like a spade kind of shape to it, like, and then it has like a viney kind of growth. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about?
it's an ivy. It's a version of
Yeah.
an ivy.
Like, you can't kill it. Like, it's really hard. Like,
Oh,
if
bet me.
What purple?
Bet me.
Yeah,
Challenge
right. That's
accepted.
me. I'm like, bitch, let me touch it one time. Just let me
When-
stick my finger in the dirt one time or plant
When my
it.
sister and I lived together, we dehydrated a cactus.
That is
You're,
impressive.
you're
It got
referring
pushed to
to a
the back of the
pothos.
shelf and got neglected for like 8 months.
Speckle, you're referring to a pothos, Pothos, oftentimes called philodendron because it's also a vine-like thing with a similar shaped leaf, but they are completely different.
Okay, there you go.
Philodendrons are also more difficult to kill, but pothos are almost indestructible.
There you go.
Now,
Thank
see,
you.
cats are actually a little easier than plants. Because a cat, if he doesn't have food or water, will come and tell you about it.
Yeah. You can totally forget about the plant for days. It doesn't say a word.
The plant, like, wakes you up, or the cat, not the plant. The plant wakes you up.
Dude, if the plant wakes you up, you need to watch what you're eating because I think you're tripping on some shit. I'm just
The
saying.
cat, like, will wake you up, and they're like, it's morning time, and they're in your face. Usually feed me by now.
Now, see, what I think we need to do, because we have so many people who are horrible pet owners, I think we need to somehow breed tardigrades to the size of a small dog.
Yes, then you can't kill it.
Yeah, then if you neglect it, it'll just crawl in a corner and dry up, and when you remember to water it again, it'll come back.
Mhm.
That's what
Tardigrades
Mac
are
was just
amazing.
saying about the jade plants. You can ignore a jade plant for a year, water it, and it springs right back.
Oh, aloe vera too. Aloe vera and the cactus. I guess it's the cactus family.
It is.
right?
It is.
Yeah.
It's of the succulents, I believe.
Hard
My
to
mom
kill
had
that.
it. My mom had an aloe vera. We always were hurting ourselves, and she put it on any kind of burn or any kind of like sunburn
Yeah.
or anything that wasn't like a deep cut. She put fucking aloe vera on it. And so when my sister got her own house and started having kids, she was like, "Mom, can I have a piece of your plant?" Mom said, "Absolutely." So I mean, by this time, the base of my mom's aloe vera was like this, and it was like this big. Like it was huge, like the leaves are really, really wide on it. And of course they don't get wide until they get bigger. Right. So, so she took that cutting and then my mom died and everything and all that crap happened. And I was at her house one time and she burned herself and she walked over to the top of an aloe plant and she pulled it off. I said, "Oh, it reminds me of Mom." She said, "That's the cutting she gave me." My mom gave her that cutting in like 1986. And this was 2 or 3 years ago. And she still has the same fucking plant.
That's
Although
pretty cool.
succulents are not actually a family of plant. It's just a set of characteristics. But the
Right.
characteristics of succulents, the leaves that will swell up with moisture,
Okay.
has evolved independently, at least in 5 separate families of plants.
Oh, I don't know anything about it. I was just guessing. So is it
I know
considered a
nothing about
succulent or a cactus? Aloe vera.
It's just not all succulents are necessarily related to each other.
Oh, okay. Okay, point taken. You see, I don't know that much about plants. I know about food plants. I grew up dealing with those a lot.
Food
I have a
plants, like-
degree in biology and I know nothing about plants.
Ben, let me tell you about plants. Plants, most of them are green. Some come in purple.
Yeah.
They need sun usually, but not too much
Yeah.
sun. Sometimes you
I
can burn
remember-
the leaves.
Depends on how fragile the plant is.
I studied like in Gen Bio, like I studied some of the plant like biochemical processes, but like my biology degree was centered around human biology. So like I didn't have to take all the it's funny because I did my undergrad research was about plants. Like plant toxicology was my undergrad research. So I know like about one plant, but only one plant.
What's the plant?
It's it's this plant. It's called OSHA, or I don't remember what the other name is. But it's found in
OSHA are the
Colorado.
people who inspect plants.
Yeah, I was like
Yeah.
OSHA.
No, OSHA is it's a type of plant, but there's another name for it as well. But it's like, it has like antibacterial and antifungal properties, and bears use it to self-medicate, and it's kind of interesting. But
No, aloes are not poisonous to us. No.
Well,
You can use it on dry skin or burns or whatever. You should have one in your house. It's better than anything else you have in your house for burns.
Well, no, I know aloe is good to use on cuts. It's good to use topically, but I did not think it's I didn't think it was something you could eat.
They do have.
You can eat it.
You
can't eat
can. They do process aloe into a juice type of drink that is safe to consume. They do it all the time. They sell it in all the drugstores.
Yeah, it's popular in Asia and stuff.
It'll
Like,
also
it has
like
been for
clean out your
forever.
stomach and stuff too. So if you want to find it, look wherever like the Maalox and all that shit is in your family drugstore. That's where it'll be. It'll usually on the bottom shelf, big container, usually has a green label on it.
Hey Ben,
It's aloe juice or whatever they call it.
you can comment on this. I just got a news blurb across my screen that says the Biden administration is going to announce that everyone should get a COVID booster shot if 8 months after their last shot.
They finally called it, huh? We've been waiting on that.
Hey, Ben,
I mean, I'll
gotta
listen
wait
to
on
the CDC, what the CDC says. I won't listen necessarily to what Biden specifically says, but
Oh, that wasn't the
Well,
CDC
okay,
included?
first of all, it didn't say Biden. It said the Biden administration, which is what I
Oh,
said
okay.
also. And the CDC is part of the administration.
okay. I thought you said that
That's what
Biden
I
had
was-
said something about it. I was like, I don't care what the president has to say about it. Like, I care about what the CDC has to say about it.
So vaccine
That's what I hold
questions.
on. That's what I was trying to ask Jenny. So you're saying that comes from the CDC then?
I don't know that. It said the Biden
Okay.
administration. See, I'm very careful with words. And
Okay.
and I don't put words in where they didn't put the words in.
No, I just didn't know if the rest of the
Well, I
article
mean-
said anything further, so I thought I would ask you because I can't see it.
I mean,
That's
I'm not surprised. Like, I figured the COVID vaccine was going to be a yearly thing, like, along with our flu shot. Like, I don't think that's going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
So I have a question though about the vaccine. So I have this one friend that I'm in California, hippy dippy kind of wooey kind of thing, right? Like, and I love her to death, and we've been friends forever. But she read and she's like, in my research, I'm almost gonna get the one shot. So she got like one Pfizer shot and not like the booster. And I'm trying to convince her to get the booster, and she's like, well, now it's too late. So what happens, like, if, like, let's say, I think the shot was in, I don't know, I wasn't with her, so I want to say the shot was in June.
Last year?
Of this year, 2021. Can she get the booster late? Or not the booster, I'm sorry, the second shot late? Or do they have to start it all over again?
I think she needs to start over.
You have to start all over again if you did. Yes, that is.
Yeah, but-
That's what the doctors are saying at my office. That's all
what I
know.
didn't know, so I was wondering. Because,
Yeah,
like,
my
I'm like,
understanding
trying to
was
convince
that
her.
if you got the first shot without the second one, that it would be like maybe 30% effective. Whereas if you got both of them, it would be like 90% effective.
4 months from the first shot. Looks like.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the problem. Purple's right. The efficacy just drops after you wait too long to get and that's with any vaccine. There's multiple shots
Yeah.
and boosters for a reason. That one shot is not going to do it for you. That's why they have boosters for whatever,
Well,
TB or whatever, tetanus or whatever. You know, there's
So I
like
had-
your Hep
So
B
if
is
you-
3 shots.
if you miss that second shot with COVID, you should definitely talk to your doctor, find out how long they say to wait, or check with the CDC. Just make sure you're on a real CDC website. Don't listen to everybody, and then start it again. You can't just wait that long and then try to continue it.
So I had Moderna and mine. Hers was Pfizer, and I had COVID last year, a year ago, and I had a really bad time. I have asthma, and like it usually presents in coughing and stuff already. So every time I cough now, everybody's like, you know. So, but it's kind of funny. I was sick for a good 2 months, and then from there, like I had like symptoms afterwards, long enough. And so anyway, I had like long-term symptoms. I still do, where like it just like turns into like achiness, extreme fatigue, things I didn't have before, forgetfulness, things like that. And then I get this shot here, right? And some people said that like it alleviated the symptoms. For me, they seem to kind of sneak back here and there. But the shot, everybody said the first one would be like fine, and like you don't like it's the second one that gets you. It was the first one that got me. The first one, all of a sudden I started feeling sick again.
I've
The
heard
second
both.
one
It just
was
depends on who
nothing.
you talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was the second
Interesting.
shot.
I guess it's just your immune system, like how it's reacting, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's just very individual kind of thing. I've heard like most people, I think, react worse to the second shot, but I do know people that react worse to the first one. So I don't know.
I didn't know if it was because I had COVID in the first place that made me, but I don't know.
It might be, but I don't know enough to say yes or no to that.
Yeah. What I was wondering about with the boosters, you know, is are they going to basically have boosters we need to get just to cover the new variants that develop?
Wait, who are you trying to summon in here?
I don't know, a nurse.
Oh, you like get in here. I'm like, who? What?
Well, that and she's amazing and great to talk to too. So that's
Because we
always
love Jenna.
Yeah, Jenna's fucking amazing. I gave up begging Maya. Maya comes in when she's ready. I don't even just wait for her to be like, give me a link. You know.
I had the Moderna shot and I had zero reaction to the first or the second.
Nice.
The second one, I had the Pfizer, and after the second one, I'm not even sure if I had any side effects or if it was just a bad allergy day. I couldn't tell the difference. But after the second one, Sloth Girl had flu symptoms for like 3-4 days.
Wow.
Well, she's got kind of a weak immune system, so you know, a typical flu that I can shake off in 3 or 4 days could put her down for a month.
Right. Yeah, no, I had some flu-like symptoms. I had, I was fatigued. I had body aches. And I just generally didn't feel good after the second shot.
Yeah, I had a fever after
I had it done on a Thursday, and I figured if it hits me really hard, it should be Friday afternoon. I'm done working, and then I can have the rest of the weekend to like rest. Well, that didn't quite work out like that. By the time I got up Friday morning, I felt sick, and I worked all the way through the day, and I was just like, "Fucking shoot me, man!" Because I haven't literally have had not a flu symptom since 2013. So when I get sick, I am a fucking whiner because I am not used to being sick. I am totally spoiled. So I felt horrible when I was cold and when I would normally be sweating easily. And I like curled up in a blanket in here. And I was just like, oh, I don't want to go to sleep, but I don't want to lay down. I want to sit like this. And I was whiny as fuck. And by the time Monday came around, I felt almost back to myself. And then Tuesday morning, I felt fine again. So that was a lot for me. I don't usually catch anything or get any symptoms or anything.
You mentioned that you don't get sick and you don't catch the symptoms very often and stuff like that. And I hear that from people, and then they have this resistance to get the vaccine. Did you feel any resistance to get the vaccine based upon that or anything?
No, honestly, I was just, I didn't have enough information myself on it. And I kind of wanted the other people that were going to go run and go get it or had to, you know, whatever. I know it sounds horrible, but I was like, well, I'll see what happens first. You know, I don't want to use guinea pig, but I kind of was like, I can't get it yet anyway, so I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait a little while and see what happens with other people. And of course, everything was going fine like I hoped it would, but I was just weary because I don't do flu shots every year. I don't catch colds. I don't take any boosters, nothing, unless I like jam a rusty nail into my body. You know, if I think it looks nasty enough, I'll go get a tetanus. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I know how bad I can get away with. Like a small cut doesn't bother me. If it goes into my skin, I need to go get my tetanus booster. But otherwise, I don't do any vaccines because I just don't even have a reason to. You know, I'm usually by myself, living alone. When I do work with people, I'm not crammed up next to anybody because I can't stand working like that anyways. And so I don't get sick. I don't get anything. I just don't bother getting any shots. I'm just not at risk at all. So yeah, it's weird that it did that to me. Honestly, I was pretty shocked by it.
So some of the folks that I love in my life have very conflicting political views, but like, the ties that bind, so to speak. They refuse to get the vaccine, and some of it's the rhetoric that they bought into, and some of it is I've never had to have the flu shot. Like they're just doubling down on their amazing immune systems.
Right. Well, that's like when I started working where I work, and my bosses were like, "Hey, did you get the COVID shot yet?" And I said, "No, I didn't." And they said, "Well, you should really get that." And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "What'd you guys get?" So it was like Moderna, Pfizer. And all the docs got Pfizer. And I was like, "All right, I'll just go get Pfizer then. Fuck it." You know, they were like, "Either one's fine." So I just, the soonest appointment I found, I set that up and went down like 4 days later and got my first shot and went and got my last shot. And, well, I knew there would be a time that I would need to. And, like I said, my previous job, I worked by myself all day. So I would just wear a mask all day, and I just stayed away from people. I kept at least 12 feet of distance and just stayed away from everybody. And, so I wasn't really concerned with it. I wasn't in anybody's faces. I wasn't dating anybody. I had no outside exposure besides work because I'm a fucking half an introvert. So I just wasn't concerned until they said, "Okay, you should go get it." I'm like, "Okay, I'll go get it now." It's time. I feel like it's time now.
Yeah, most years I haven't bothered getting the flu shot, but I wasn't going to take any chances with the COVID. It was just, I just had to wait until they dropped the age requirement low enough for me to get it. Because when they brought it out around here for the first several months, it was only people over 60.
Context for this comment by Jenna. I told her that she should come do the live react to the chiropractic neurology with me.
Yeah, chiropractic neurology. That's good shit.
I hate
hold on real quick.
That's
not quite how I meant it, Maya. I didn't mean that that I didn't have to get it because I didn't get exposed. I'm just saying that even when I was around sick people, I'm basically on a every 7 to 9 year basis with the flu. Like that's how often I get it. It's every 7 to 9 years. So I figure if it's not broke, don't fix it. If I don't get sick from the flu and there's other people around me that are sick and I just don't pick it up or whatever it is, or I'm not susceptible to it, I'm not going to give myself that shit because I just don't see what's the fuck's the point? I'm not not carrying shit around or anything. So anyways, just wanted to clear that up. Go ahead.
My partner doesn't get sick ever. But the whole idea of the asymptomatic carrier is always kind of curious to me. Like we've kind of wondered, like if that was the case for him.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was worried about with the COVID. That with my allergies, I pretty much always got a cough and sinus problems. So it's like the only symptom that I was likely to get with the COVID that I wouldn't excuse for part of my allergies was if I started running a temperature.
Yeah, and just for people that aren't clear on this, I just want to say this because there for a while I heard a lot of people not understanding the whole thing with the fever. It's not just that you get a fever with COVID. It's a quick high spike. It's not like, oh, I have 99, now it's 90. I have 95 and I have 99 and now I have 100. It spikes really quick over 100. Like, that's unless that has changed in the last month. But But that's the last thing I heard that it does. So people that have like a low grade fever and they're worried about you might still have COVID, but don't freak out because that's not like one of the main characteristics for COVID anyways.
I had a weird oxygen drop, but then I didn't get COVID lung, which was kind of odd. So like that was a weird one. So I ended up in the ER and I was like loopy. Like I had reached like almost like a high of just like being and I guess for whatever reason, like it had triggered an asthma issue where like everything was just like constricted and I didn't even notice it. Like I was just like, everything's fine. Like where normally I would notice it. And that was kind of weird. Like I usually can notice if I can't breathe. And instead it was sort of just like, like I was talking to my online friend Serb, who is in that video where we were defending Randolph Richardson actually, with Exiled on Exiled's channel.
Okay.
And he was trained in EMT and he was talking to me. He's like, you're not being normal. You're not your normal self. You're like meaner and just sharper and just a little more like all over. And I was like, huh? And he's like, you should go to the ER. And I was like, okay. And so yes, sure enough, like my level had dropped and he's like, yeah, that's like hypoxia and you were high.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Take some oxygen away from your brain, see what happens, right?
You'll have a grand old time.
Yeah, until you're dead. But at first it'll be lots of fun. Just for a little while.
Yeah. I guess that was trippy to me because like I've had pneumonia where you're like, I feel it, and you're like, ah, and it's sort of like the panic, but no.
Right.
Not being able to breathe is the most frightening feeling you can possibly imagine. I have AFib, and one of the big symptoms of that, when you spike a rapid heart, is you don't oxygenate, and you start to get the panic that I can't breathe. Well, yeah. And it is absolutely scary. You swear you're going to die.
And you're like, what do I do about this, right?
Suppose you could.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got to kick at the most basically instinctive level.
Mm-hmm. I'm real careful with what I do and following what they tell me I have to do to never ever feel that again.
Yeah, it's not a good time. No.
I'm sure Ben can make a lot of comments on it. It's just a horrible thing.
I really don't enjoy the effects of inhalers, but like it's like one of those like lesser of the evils, but I really don't enjoy it because I find that it makes me more like frazzled.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it would.
So. Well, I don't know. I've known some people that don't seem to have the same reaction, and for me, like it just like it's the same reaction as stress, Well,
so. Yeah, because that's the mechanism, and it depends on which inhaler you're using, and like a beta 2 agonist is you're giving yourself a sympathetic response, and then also if you're using a muscarinic antagonist, you're also giving yourself a sympathetic response. So it's like, naturally you would feel more stress.
Yeah, so it's tough because I'm already somebody that's sort of like easily thrown into fight or flight. So like I'm like, oh dang it.
Granted, you're not giving yourself like the full gambit of those effects because if you're only stimulating beta 2, like you're not getting the rest of everything. But I mean, well, the anti-muscarinic would, but not the beta 2 agonist.
I'm on albuterol, and I don't even carry it with me most of the time because it just feels like it does absolutely nothing.
Well, that's why they have the pills for all the time, and then albuterol for like breakthrough shit.
There's a step up process for asthma now. Because ideally, like albuterol is not going to be the thing that you're going to go to. The ideal thing to have you on long term is a steroid and maybe a LABA.
I get albuterol for COPD.
Oh, for COPD, yeah.
What's that other stuff, Ben? There's something else they give you for that too. You do a everyday pill thing. What is it? I can't think what the other thing's called.
There are a variety of things you can use.
Start with an RE. Maybe it's, I don't remember.
Well, my fiance had the severe asthma and used the albuterol through the nebulizer almost every day.
There's so many options now, and it's all depending on you and how many times you're using your inhaler. Like, are you managing it well? Because there are lots of as they've got like immune modulators now that you can use. They can there's an incredible amount of drugs that you can use for asthma.
I used to be on a beta blocker to help with anxiety, but it was like,
you do not put people with asthma on beta blockers. You do not do that.
And then for some reason they didn't catch the conflict, and I was ignorant to it, and all of a sudden I was like having a lot of problems.
Yeah, you don't do that. Like that's something that's like they test us on that pretty heavily. Like, you do not give a beta blocker to someone with asthma.
And then I was in the doctor's office, and she's like, "Who did this?" I was just like, suddenly she's like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, there's some that are a bit safer. Like, there are some that are cardio selective, but it's still risky. So it's like, don't do it unless you really need to, because
it was propranolol.
It's still sketchy.
I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Oh, propranolol. I think that one's a bit safer, but like, it's still a risk though. Like, they're all a risk.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I got distracted for a second. I'm just agreeing.
The pharmacist could have maybe caught that conflict too, but they didn't either. So
they should have. The pharmacist especially should have caught that. But
is it Dulera? Is that an asthma medication, or is that?
That sounds like a brand name, and I don't know brand names.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind.
For whatever reason, I've never been offered like pills. Like, I have a daily maintenance inhaler, and then I have the rescue inhaler, which I rarely use.
Yeah, like most of them are inhalers, and even the steroids are typically an inhaled steroid. Yeah.
They gave me roids when I not the kind of roids. I was kidding. They gave me a steroid when I was in the ER when I had COVID last. And they ended up just giving me a shot. It was the first time I had to have a shot. I've always had like a rescue inhaler or something like that. And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go with the shot." I'm like, "Okay."
No, I was wrong. That's an inhaler too. Oh well. I can't think of it.
Yeah, there's so many meds
there are a lot. I just know there's like two or three very popular pills, but I think I only know the brand names of them.
Yeah, see, I'm supposed to take pills, but my doctor just likes giving shots, in the butt. So I'm just making that up. I'm sorry.
You just want to bring up buttholes, don't you?
Yeah.
The only shots I'm taking are whiskey.
I love taking those shots. Those are my favorite.
I'm going to be taking some shots soon.
Whiskey. And also some tequila shots are nice too. I like those.
You never answered my question about what do they use for bleaching buttholes. So
I don't. I've never bleached a butthole, so I don't know.
That's a cosmetic industry question, not a doctor question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's more a porn industry question, but.
Oh, okay. Purple, then white. What do they use?
I think Purple answered it already.
I had assumed that they use peroxide. Like I say, I never really looked into it myself.
Oh my God.
Porn has created a huge social influence on how people treat that area. I'll just say, like big influence. And so, like everybody's like, okay, no hair, wax everything, okay, and now it's starting
wax.
to
I just shave it off. Fuck
they're
that.
like less, or like but like the days of the full Bush 70s look is long dead, I think. But
so
I don't know.
They kind of created a rabbit hole, but not quite a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, years ago, I had gone to some sex parties where I knew there were gay men there. So I had thought that I should just get tattooed on my ass, exit only.
Wow.
Don't get me started on that shit. Boy, this is taking a strange turn.
You should
Sorry,
Get
I'm a bad influence. I don't know what happened.
you should get that DOS command tattooed on your button near the hole. C : enter.
No.
Wow.
No, I'm not interested in anybody putting
You
anything
never know
in
what
there.
Jenny's gonna say. This is why I always invite Jenny on, even if we argue about certain things.
I don't feel bad with anything I said now. Thank you.
Okay, anybody in the chat, if you've had your butthole bleached, just admit it and tell us what they use, because we're curious. We all need to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
A friend who's had it done.
Yeah, or a friend. It could be a friend, sure.
Or your
I'm good with
parents.
that. Or whoever, right? I feel like there's probably a lot of Karens that get that done.
And Kyle's.
And Ken's. I call them Ken's and Karens.
I don't know. I was making up another.
It sounds better than Ken and Barbie.
And Kyle's are like the young dudes that drink Monsters all the time and like just do recklessly awful things like for attention.
Wrecked them. Or killed them.
We know some Kyles like that.
Marie said, "Don't knock it till you try it."
Try what?
I don't know. I'm waiting for the answer on that one.
I feel like
Bleaching?
Burios is a very Kyle thing to do. I'm not gonna lie. There are a couple things that I do that are very Kyle things to do.
Student Dr. Kyle.
Like I do love Monster, and I do like really weird, reckless things for attention. So like maybe I am a Kyle.
But do you like Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
I do like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Kyle.
The people in the chat know what I'm talking about. Alma Rose knows what I'm talking about.
No, I forgot.
It'll come back to you.
See, our problem is that society protects idiots instead of just letting them get killed off on their own like nature intended.
We're not supposed to talk about
Wait a minute.
the situation.
Hold on. Everybody just hold on for 1 second. Jenny.
I'm kidding.
Jenny, you had nothing to say about that?
About
way. What Purple just said gets on me about homeless people. Shit. We've never even had a full discussion about it because you got
homeless.
So we, huh?
Purple, you didn't say homeless, did you?
She did it. I did.
No, she said she was like natural selection. Let everybody just die off. Fuck trying to help the stupid people.
I don't feel that way.
About that.
I just put on my hat and said like the homeless.
So Jenny is for helping homeless people as long as they're not stupid homeless people.
I don't mean what I said.
I really am not going to comment on this because I will start yelling and screaming. I really, really do not want to anywhere near this topic.
It wasn't the point. I was talking about the homeless thing. Never mind.
I made a joke. We're not really touching it. It was to touch the forbidden without actually touching it. We don't really believe it.
Yeah, it's. I think we agreed to stay away from it, so I'm not gonna get into that.
When people tell me not to touch the thing, it's so hard not to touch the thing.
We didn't agree. I demanded.
I demand that we don't talk about cereal anymore because I feel like cereal.
Some kind of way about cereal.
Not even shredded wheat.
Especially not that. Have you ever tried to poo after that?
Well, yeah, that's why I eat. That's get you going good.
Oh my goodness.
Now, see, Crash, if you admit that you're stupid, that means you have more self-awareness than most of them do. So you're not really that stupid.
No. He said he's in favor of helping the stupid. That's why he's here. He's trying to help us out.
Randolph Richardson says staying away from Catholic clergy jokes about touching is a good move. I pointed that out. Like, it wasn't shown on the screen, but I pointed it out to B, and I said, Randolph Richardson says Jesus doesn't touch people, but the Catholic clergy does it for him. And I'm like, I'm going to hell and laughing at this.
He said something about,
I don't even believe in
he
hell,
said Christians don't have to abuse their kids. they leave that up to the clergy and somebody else. And I was like, fuck, Randolph. What the fuck, dude? Oh
but,
my god.
I mean, fair enough. After the Christian hillbilly story I told you, like, oh my gosh, how horrendous. Everything that's horrible has happened to you has been God's bidding. Have a nice day.
Right? You don't know what I've done and been told about. Welcome back, Mac.
If we're mentioning off limits conversations, no more asking me for curry because I'm not eating curry.
Oh, good. I don't
I'm
feel
kidding.
some
No,
kind
I
of
will.
victory.
No, I will. You can keep talking about curry. That's fine.
Can we talk
Curry's
about
allowed.
Tim Curry? Can we talk about that?
Oh, Tim Curry's amazing. I mean, who could do all those different parts and keep a fucking straight face while doing them? And if for any of you have not seen him in Clue, shame on you. You should absolutely watch Clue if you've never seen it. Not the newer shit, the older movie Clue. Go watch it.
So I'm
I
a
think it came
movie
out in the late
fanatic.
70s or something, or 80s, didn't it? Early 80s. When did that come out, Jenny? Do you remember?
Which one? Which one?
Clue.
I want to say that's 80s, but I could be wrong. Let me look it up.
I think it's early.
Was that the one with Jane Fonda? Clute?
I don't remember. Had Tim Curry was the butler.
1985.
85. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You were right. You were right, HS. That's the one he put up earlier. You're right.
Yeah. Oh my.
Yes, Titan. You are our kind of asshole.
I would debate that part about Jesus never touched anyone because there is that passage in the Bible about him being in the garden and the naked boy running.
What?
Jesus.
That
there's a boy that is naked and he's
it's
having
been a long time
fits.
since I read the Bible, but
I know
there was something about that when the soldiers came for Jesus, that this naked boy ran from the garden where they found Jesus.
I don't remember that part, but there is a part of the story of I don't remember which gospel because I have to look that up. But there's a part where there's a boy that's throwing himself in the fire and out of the fire, and he's having these fits that are described, like he's just like flailing around and stuff, and he's like tearing off his clothes, and they chained him up and stuff, and instead of like addressing it as like mental illness or something like that, like they treated it as demons, and I know that one.
Did you know that once cooked, there's approximately 27 feet of noodle in a package of ramen?
How do you know this?
Shut the fuck up, Jenny. Totally random.
Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Give me the data. Show me.
Where'd you get that?
Show me the ramen.
Well,
where'd you get the measurements?
There was this guy who used to run a website. His name was Rob Courtney. Oh no. Oh God. I'll remember Cockham. Whatever. And he used to test all these ideas and do different things. Some of them are really outrageously funny, and they wondered how much noodle is in there, and so they cooked them and laid it out end to end because some pieces break and things, and measured it, and about 27 feet was average.
Yeah, I could see it. Just envisioning the volume of the cup and how thin the noodles are.
I think they should call it the 27-foot of noodle cup. You will get at least 25 feet of noodles in your cup.
These guys would also do things like back in the days when McDonald's used actual signs instead of digital screens for their drive-thru and stuff. They would go and they would take measurements of their signs and make fake signs and install them in place.
So,
how many beans in a can of pork and beans, Jenny? Real quick, how many? What's the average?
I will guess 375.
There you go. There's your answer.
I'm gonna guess greater than 12.
You would be right.
Cool.
So I owe Purple an apology. I've read and studied the Bible for many years, and I just, for some reason, omitted that fact, just like I omitted, like I forgot about the zombies that happen after Jesus gets raised from the dead. All these, like in one of the Gospels, there's other people raised from the dead randomly in one of the Gospels. So like I didn't know that randomly in one of the Gospels, there's a naked fugitive that runs from the arrest, and it's translated as this naked fugitive running from there. So that does exist. That's a thing. It's in Mark. There you go. The more you know.
What does
There
this
you go.
show become?
Okay.
I don't even know.
Counting beans.
Yes, we are.
I just Googled the beans, and according to the Heinz website, in an average tin of beans, there are about 465 beans.
That's exactly what Randolph and Ox just put in the chat. Well, Ox put in the chat.
Well, I was pretty close.
465
was
beans
also
on average.
right.
And then Randolph said in a can of beans, but cans of pork and beans, I'm not so sure about. Of course, it varies from one brand to the next.
So I'm sure my number is right for both, though.
Yeah.
What was your number?
Greater than 12.
You know what? No.
That's not a number.
Guess an actual number, damn
No,
it.
that isn't 12 is a number.
I was thinking
And
like
more than
200. I
12.
was way off.
It's more than 12.
Apparently, you
I'm
could have said
sticking
more
to
than
that.
200, and you could have been a little, close
I
up the gap a
could,
little bit
but
there, buddy.
I wanted to give myself a buffer and just make sure that I was
That's a
correct.
hell of a buffer.
Is that how everybody's been winning those jelly bean guessing games, like at weddings and stuff like that? Is they've just been like greater than 12?
I'm sure if you guys look that shit
That's
up
what
on
I do.
YouTube, you'll be able to tell how many beans are in a jar this size. Hold on, we have an answer for you. There you
See,
are.
I'm just a troll.
5,672 jelly beans in that jar.
See,
How many
knew I
raisins
was
in a
troll.
box of Raisin Bran? Well, it used to be less than 2 scoops because they always said that, and some kid measured it and sued them. So now, when you get Raisin Bran, you'll get 2 scoops of raisins.
We agree that we were not discussing the subject of cereal.
It wasn't my fault. It was the chat.
Well,
I didn't do it.
they were always vague
Yeah.
about what the size of the scoops were, so they could easily defend themselves on that.
You said scoop, and now I'm thinking about the melon balling of people's flesh.
You know,
The spider bites.
for as much as they said in the commercial, when they said 2 scoops, the scoops could have been tablespoons.
Yeah. But I think the scoops had like a definitive weight to them, I think was the point. And that wasn't accurate. Rice is great for when you want to eat 2,000 of something. Yes, it is, Mac. Yes, it is.
I did actually find that the Cub Foods brand of Raisin Bran actually had significantly more raisins in it than the name brands.
It's true. The off brands always do. There's way more raisins in there and more sugar.
But they're
And I
much
like it.
poor
I don't
quality.
like raisins. They trigger me. Like
Oh,
I'm not
love
being
raisins.
funny either. Like I just don't. For some reason, whenever they get in my mouth, I go, "What's this?" And I spit it out. Like I don't know what I.
That's
think
how
it
I
is,
feel
but-
about lima beans. Like once you bite into one, you're like, well, it's
Lima
like
beans are so
gritty,
bad.
grainy, starch,
Then you didn't have anybody.
glob.
Look,
God, no, man. My mom
Lima
cooked
beans
great.
are
I just
so
cannot
bad.
stand lima beans. I cannot stand anchovies or anything really fishy, raw fish and shit. Nope. Nope.
What about cooked fish? How do you feel about
Yeah.
that?
If it's a mild fish, I'm good with it.
I've got a bowl of raisins by my chair. I don't remember buying raisins. I vaguely recall buying some grapes last fall.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Oh my God,
I
Purple,
was,
you
I was
killed
just going to ask if you had bought a rabbit.
me.
No, but that's why I never trust the black jelly beans around Easter.
There's a question for you, Jenny.
Let's see. How
Oh
many?
my god!
I don't know. I have no clue whatsoever. I've never done a search.
Max said
I don't.
Purple
problem
you
talking
sure
about
they are
homeless-
raisins?
I don't have a problem talking about homeless people. I have a problem talking about homeless people on this particular channel.
Or with this particular host.
Yes.
Yeah, it's me. It's
Oh.
me. Jenny really hates me. She just comes on here because she likes to talk to my guests.
I understand I have some friends and family that have positions that I go, oh, this one position gets to me and it bothers me.
Yeah.
And you sort of kind of go, like, the only way to get past it is to be like, we're just not going to bring it up. I get it. I get it.
I come on your show, B, because I figure it's probably one of the better channels I could be on to meet a fine, wonderful lesbian wife.
Oh, okay. So you're just using me for sex and
Oh, yeah.
longevity in your
Absolutely.
life. Okay, you know, fine. Fine, Jenny, fine.
Well, that's one way to do it, I guess.
Whoever
know.
made up the saying, if it smells like cologne, leave it alone. If it smells like fish, eat all you wish. If it smells like either one, run the fuck away. Neither one of them's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, if I can really notice any kind of an odor, nothing's happening until you take a shower.
I like tuna.
There was a guy on YouTube that bragged about his OnlyFans. He's one of those people that probably should not have an OnlyFans, and some of the folks in chat know who I'm talking about. And he bragged live and then said it tasted like truffles, and we're like, isn't that a fungus? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's complimentary. Don't say that.
Clean truffle or still covered in dirt truffle?
Oh, this would be definitely covered in dirt truffle, knowing who it is.
See, if it smells like fish, it's probably trichomonas. So, I mean, go get help.
Yeah, either you got some shit going on down there or you were just fucking a guy recently, because that's why women smell like fish.
Did you
So,
say chicken
no,
monas?
don't eat all you wish. I ain't touching that shit.
Trichomonas, vaginosis. There's specific types of vaginosis that smell like fish. They call it the whiff test. Like that's how they teach it in medical textbooks, like the whiff test with a KOH prep. If it smells like fish.
So I'm the kind of friend that wants to save my other friend from embarrassment, but sometimes that means I have to confront them on something embarrassing. And I had this one friend go to the movie theaters with me. We were watching a movie, and I'm like,
Oh, man.
and I finally said something like, I was like, oh my God. So I endured the movie, and I was like, so I don't know how to bring this up without hurting your feelings. And then we had a conversation, and she's like, yeah, I know I smell like fish. Oh my God.
See, exactly. That's my thing right there. Those people that are really nasty and like don't shower or anything, they've got to know they stink. You can't tell me you don't know. Everybody knows when they stink. I don't care if you get done playing sports. You're like, ooh, I'm ripe right now. I should really go take a shower.
No,
you know?
I think
Oh
some
my God.
people do get enough used to their own smell that they won't notice.
They just kind of like the trash man. I had a buddy that was a trash man, and he said, I just don't even smell anything, not food or anything anymore. Just nothing smells like anything to me anymore. Like he's just immune to all smells because he was so used to being around nasty trash.
Ox, though.
It's hard to tell people that they smell. You're just like, how do I do this in the most delicate way possible?
No, the comment above it. The comment above it.
Oh, I know. I was getting there.
So you say there's no shame in feminine sprays,
I'm
but I have
just
to
glad
tell you,
my tuna is dolphin and vagina free. Fucking ox. God damn, dude. Where you
So-
come up with this shit at?
So I used to work in a grocery store, and at the time, the grocery store was in a part of town that was a little bit redneck. And I'm stocking the grocery store, and I'm used to like seeing people shoplift and stuff like this. But I was stocking the feminine aisles and non-foods, and I'm like do stocking in them, and all of a sudden, like I look and I watch this woman walk by, grab the feminine spray underneath her skirt,
And then keep
and then put it back on the shelf. And
You're
keep
like, bitch,
walking.
I want no sample.
And I
Yeah.
was like,
It's not a tester.
and I wasn't certified to confront shoplifting and stuff like that. So I was just like, I'm just going to mark it off as a loss and throw it away. Cause like, you're not supposed to sell used stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah. You
terrifying.
couldn't sell that after that.
God,
right
you know,
in front of me.
what you made me just think of? Like, they'll have little testers for like cologne and perfumes, but you never see testers in like the personal hygiene section. Because who would want to touch that shit later? Like, ooh, Summer's Eve spray. Look, it's a tester. Who else is
This KY warms up. Try a piece.
Tester deodorant. It's so nasty.
Nope, don't like that one.
Oh my god.
They call it feminine.
Tester razors. No, I don't like how that shaves.
There's a certain amount of shameless people, like in grocery stores. It takes all kinds. And like there was this one person that decided to steal a turkey. So you imagine like how difficult it would be to smuggle out a turkey, right? You'd have to be really creative.
It's a chick, you can make it look like she was pregnant and she'd be like, "You looking at my baby?"
Kind of happened that way. She stuck it in between her thighs and started waddling out like this. Just waddling with this frozen thing between her thighs.
That pussy was colder than the Eskimos and fucking.
That was actually a technique
recommended.
That was actually a technique recommended in Steal This Book.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like she was waddling out, and of course we saw. So like at that time we had a loss prevention person that could confront her, and she's like, "What?" He's like, "I saw you stick a turkey between your legs, and then it drops. It drops." She just starts.
Excuse me, ma'am. Are you happy to see me, or is that a
running.
turkey between your legs?
And we're just like, okay, well, we can't put this turkey back into the. We're just gonna have to write this off too.
I've heard of frigid, but your baby is frozen.
It bounced. It's a bouncing baby. Free test of our new douche, or try a sample of itch cream. Thank you, Ox, for that. That just really hammered it home for me.
Well, if you use the douche and put it back on the shelf, you are one.
No shit. No shit. That's true.
Oh.
You can tell where the world's at by what things people steal. Like really. Like people don't steal a lot of like feminine douche stuff, but they'll steal condoms.
So it's always been the case like that condoms are highly stolen, KY is highly stolen, feminine products actually highly stolen, anything in the drug aisle is highly stolen, liquor is highly stolen. Like there's a lot of like key items where loss prevention definitely looks at. Meat is a stolen item for sure. So you feminine products are often stolen, but
are they?
To be fair, people that are impoverished, like they have to pay for this stuff.
Yeah.
And like
I know.
The whole pink tax thing, you know what I mean? Like it is expensive, you know. I mean, for something that's, penny pinching, it's a lot.
Yeah, first of all, they should be a lot cheaper, and second of all, there should be no tax on them. It's like a food item. It's a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have feminine hygiene. There's just no way around it. I don't care who the fuck you are. There's no way around it.
Is the people who are on food stamps. It won't cover any non-food items. So if they need any type of hygiene items, they not have a way to pay for it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have much sympathy for people that steal makeup or liquor. I don't, but like I always kind of felt like if the person was stealing milk or baby formula or something like that, then I'm like, oh gosh, dang.
If a woman is stealing hygiene products, I'm not going to bust them. Are you?
I know of a lady that stole. I was pretty sure she stole some baby formula. And I didn't say a fucking word. Yeah. She bought some small ticket items, and I just rang her up, and I'm pretty sure that's what was in her bag, because she was in that aisle, the size, the shape of it. I'm almost positive, but I didn't say anything. I just let her walk out the door.
Loss prevention, and I was like 19, and like imagine, I was a homeschooler, right? So I'm like completely like isolated. And here's the real world, the grocery store where everything's wild. And I'm 19 years old, and loss prevention goes, "You're a woman. Come here." I'm like, "Who, me?" And they're like, "We've got this shoplifter here." And I'm like, "Okay." And you can hear Raffle, shut up. because he's screaming. Okay, the dog's like, "Arr!" Every evening they yell at each other. The dogs, they yell at each other, and like it's like nighttime. But anyway, I lost my. Oh yeah, so they had a shoplifter, and the shoplifter had tights, and she was stuffing things down her tights. And the two loss prevention guys were like two dudes, and they like brought me in as like a witness or something. And they're like, "You're gonna pull all the cheese and all this out of your pants, or we're gonna send her in to do it." And I'm like, I'm not going in to do anything. I'm not touching her. I'm not doing anything. Like, what do you?
You're like,
I'm not gonna go in there.
Volunteer me for this shit.
Like, oh my god, like, and this is like, gosh, I was 19, so this is like what, like 2000 maybe. Like it was like, and I was just horrified.
And you were
like,
19, like not a 40-year-old woman who's like confident and strong in her position, but a 19-year-old.
A sexually confused 19-year-old that's like horrified of everything, that was homeschooled and like super like, I'm not touching anybody. like it was just like terrifying. I'm like, and I just felt so horrible. Like,
well, plus before you experiment and find about your own sexuality and who you are, that's not okay to be pawn on somebody else when you're at that age. No matter when that comes for you. It's a very, very awkward thing.
They didn't even mean it in a sexual way either. It's just like,
it doesn't matter. It's just
right?
That's their private area. You don't touch it, right?
Yeah. And so like I was just horrified, and like it was just horrible. And yeah. So like I have like these mixed feelings about theft. It's like I've been a store manager before, where like I'm like, electronics store manager, and like the guy was cutting things off, and I'm helping this line of customers, and I finally scream, "If you want a better look, you don't have to cut off the wall. I have a key. I can open it." And like he just dropped it and like left the building, because like you can't say "stop thief" until they leave the door. So like it was like this game you'd play. You're like, okay, so
yeah. I know they wander close to the door, and you're watching them, and you have to wait for the last minute. And then by the time they actually go to step out the door, then it's kind of too late, because then they're like, "Nope, don't stop them. Once they're out the door, you can't touch them."
And how you say it matters too. So like, you go around,
you can't really accuse them.
Want a closer look, or I can hold that for you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've done that before too. But I mean, the funny thing is, when I was busting people that were stealing, it was always fucking makeup. So much makeup. We lost so much makeup that they took like 3/4 about half the makeup out of our store. And say, "You're not selling this shit anymore. It just gets stolen all the time." Like, they made no money off it. They literally removed it, and we had blank end caps and shit in the store. Yeah, and we were like an experimental store that they decided to start doing this with. The high theft items that weren't selling good, they were taking them all out of the fucking store. They were like, "That's it." And we spent like 2.5 weeks just rearranging pulling all this stuff out. We had to scan it all in, put it in totes, send it back to the fucking warehouse, and like redo every fucking planogram except for like 6 in the entire store in like 2.5 weeks. It was insane. But yeah, that's why though. I mean, it was always people stealing fucking, I like had one guy that was stealing body wash, and I didn't know what he had. I thought he had been in the liquor section. I was almost positive it was fucking liquor. Oh, and then when I chased him outside because he started calling me a fucking dyke and shit, and I was like, "Motherfucker!" So I went after him because I was fed up by this time. I'd worked at that place for like 8 or 9 months, and I'd had things thrown at me. I'd been spit on. I'd been punched. So I was just fucking done at this point. So I was like, "You motherfucker!" And I went to go after him, and he ran out the fucking door, and he dropped some fucking body wash, and I went to pick it up, and I was coming up a hill at him because I was really just trying to get a picture of him. I had my phone in my hand because we took pictures of him, and then we would take it back inside and we print it out and put it in a book. Like, this person's not allowed in the store anymore, kind of book. So, and we keep track of it or whatever. So I was trying to get a picture of him, and he shoved me like halfway down the hill and coming out of, beside the parking lot. And there's like a coyote fence thing there made out of wood. And I grabbed that and I like cut my hand open. I was fucking pissed. Wow. I was like, "You motherfucker, you laid hands on me. I was just trying to get a picture of you." I was like, "Smile, motherfucker." And he would not turn around. So I kept following him. I knew eventually he'd turn around to like look at traffic or something. He was heading for an intersection. I was like, "I'll get his face eventually." Yeah. So that happened. But it was never, there was one lady that loaded up a whole fucking cart of shit.
Oh yeah, that was common. And then they
Whole
rushed the
fucking
door, or they
cart
tried.
and-
They either try to calm.
Oh
me
yeah, but
and
I
then
got a
they
hold of the
run.
cart, and I was holding her and her boyfriend off. I was holding it with one fucking hand, and actually the joke between me and my brother is I had a hand on the cart and a handful of Twizzlers. I literally had someone's Twizzlers in my hand, and I was braced my elbow on the doorway of the electric door, and I wouldn't let go of it.
So
And I was just standing there like a fucking solid rock, and she kept trying to. She had a taser in her hand, but it was one of those ones you have to touch somebody with. It wasn't like the kind with the leads. So I was like, "You can't reach me. This car's between us." So I just stood there. I wouldn't let go. I was like, "No," and they were like, "Let go," and I was like, "No, I'm not."
In some states, like that's
Just give
like
up, bitch.
having a taser. Like that's like assault with a deadly
Oh,
weapon
they
in
were
some
going
states.
after her for it too. Yeah, we got their license plate and everything. So
Oh.
yeah, they got him. It was pretty funny. Oh, and he also hit me. You know, she shoved me. He punched me and threw me into the wall. I went back after him with my phone. Hold on, motherfucker. Let me take a picture of you.
Yeah.
Get away from me. No, let me take a picture of you. Punch me again. I don't care. Fuck you.
We had a guy named Victor the Third. I always remember that. Victor the Third. He was really huge and he was like a Mr. Clean kind of guy. And he was our receiver, but he was also like authorized to confront like certain shoplifters. So like there's people that can and people that can't. And
Right.
at the time, like now pretty much they wave to you goodbye unless there's a loss, like just a security person only that grabs you. But back then, Victor was watching this guy who was in the liquor department, and he's just filling up and he's a college student, he's a frat boy, like he's just filling up his backpack, do for the local college, party that was like a few blocks away.
Yeah.
And he's just watching him, and all of a sudden Victor confronts him and then grabs the backpack. And then like the guy starts going, "You want to see what's in my backpack?" And he starts chucking the bottles at him. Bam, bam, bam. And there's glass everywhere, liquors everywhere. And then Victor's like, okay, like it's hard to not lose your temper. So he grabs him, and then it's like, police. He's got him down, and it's like a scuffle. And like nowadays you don't see those kind of interactions because like it's like a big insurance thing. Like everybody's like this, okay, wave goodbye. But like
Yep.
back then, like you would, and then the guy got away. He slithered out of his shirt. Like he got out of his shirt and ran shirtless out, came back like an hour later and threw a brick through the window. How dare you not let me steal? Throw a brick.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
What?
yeah, I'm mad at you. You didn't let me steal shit.
What is this?
Yeah, people are crazy, man.
And that was my
Telling you.
introduction to humanity, being like a sheltered homeschooled kid is like, oh, okay, all this is here in the world.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that scare you back to God?
Well, I was totally into God then,
'Cause that
so absolutely.
Helped so much.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
worked in church. Well, I worked several retail jobs and office jobs. I've done both those. And then I worked in church, and I wanted to be a clergy member for a long time. I was on track to eventually be a family care pastor, but I wasn't ordained yet. And then I did outreach and youth ministry for 15 years. Like it was a job, like
Wow.
40 hours at least, if not more.
Boy, I'm glad you were cured.
I want any excuse possible to go back to Christianity without the dogma. But I have a lot of hangups, So I personally right now am in a weird space where I'd say I'm a deist kind of on the line. I keep wobbling back and forth whether or not God interacts or not. But I do truly believe that there is a God. I just don't see this version of God that's being described to me as being God. So
I think you need to talk to my brother.
I know he wants to have a long conversation because he sees like a lot of my hangups, and he's like, I can talk to you. And I was like, okay. So I've agreed to talk to him, but
You should
we'll
talk to
see.
him.
We'll see.
He does have the most unique perspective on the Bible I've ever run across.
He really does.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
Well,
it
I
is
kinda
not
wanted to-
anything I've ever heard, and that's why I like talking to him about it. That is the only reason. Because it's just so, like, he'll say some shit, and I go, what? And then
Well,
he'll align it up with science, and I'm like, wow, I never thought about it like that. It
Well,
is mind-blowing, because you really have to, everything you've learned from all the indoctrination and all the years around, blah blah blah, and all talking all the cat. You have to ignore all of that and open your mind, or you will never understand what he's saying. Now, I'm not saying I agree with him. I think about 10% of what he says makes a lot of fucking sense to me. Like, could be possible kind of sense. The other 90%, I don't even, I still am, no, I don't believe it. But it's very interesting to talk to him.
Sorry, my dog's going woof, 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 woof. I'm like, hush, hush. She sees her reflection in the TV every so often if it goes blank, and then she barks at it. So I moved from like a very dogmatic, like, I don't feel this, but I believe this kind of thing, and then I I was always in constant conflict, with this Calvinist idea of God, and then I moved from that to progressive Christianity and sort of a deconstruction kind of view, or a emerging church sort of view of it, like Methodists, but like a little more. And now I am, I don't know.
Aww.
I don't know. I'm kind of like in a weird zone right now, but yeah, it's hard. Now I have a position that's so odd, and I still am hammering it out, that I just don't know how to put it in words. Where before I had a very nice, neat box where I could just spit it out and be like, this is my argument. And now I'm like, this is where I'm at. I'm in a weird spot.
Have you considered looking at some, non-Bible related religions? I went, between Christianity and being an atheist, I spent 25 years in the pagan community exploring all sorts of other religions.
Pagans make me giggle, mostly because my interactions with ocean Keltois people. But I like ocean.
Yeah.
But like, I'll say this, that like there's nothing that they've sold to me that I really pick up, except there's ideas in Druidism that attract me. And there's ideas in Taoism that attract me, and there's ideas in Buddhism that attract me for sure.
Yeah, well, there are certainly a lot of strange pagan belief systems out there, but there's some of them that I found seem to make quite a bit of sense.
Yeah. The idea that you're not, how do I say this? You're not a gardener. You're like the apple on the tree kind of thing, and like you're like interconnected, and like things like that are interesting to me. But yeah, overall paganism doesn't interest me, and then there's a lot of theatrics in paganism that remind me of Satanism, and like I don't mean like I believe like your Satanism where it's like, oh yay devil. Like I see Satanism as theatrics, like sort of the way.
Well,
I see a lot of
because
ritual
most
in
of the
Christianity as
Satanism
theatrics.
was actually ripped off from paganism.
Yeah. So I kind of, I mean, I don't want to like anger the pagans, because there's so many that are really nice
Yeah,
folks,
me too.
Really nice folks, but like there's little appeal for me to that. I'd say Judaism would be in the running, maybe, but it would have to be progressive, or Buddhism or Taoism. Like I can pull things from those religions and go, I like this. There's an appeal, or there's good things in these that I can say, yes, I think like that that's a good argument, or that's a good way to think about it, or that I can see how you can live your life this way. But and that's the other thing, is like you can make a good argument, you can make dogma, but how you live your life, is this applicable to the reality that you're living in? Well, dogmatic fundamental Christianity is not applicable to the life that I've experienced. I don't believe LGBTQ people are bad people. Like I don't believe that you should experience eternal hellfire for a finite sin. Like these are things that like we were taught, like like you tell a lie, you're a liar, and then you deserve hell. Like this doesn't make any sense. This is not at all the reality that I experience, and to call this good sounds evil to me. So I don't know.
I do have more respect for Judaism, because they do actually encourage everyone to read the scriptures and come to their own interpretations.
Yeah, and they don't talk for God as much as Christianity does. Christianity tends to, and I don't mean like I'm pointing with a really broad brush, but evangelical Christianity's claim to have this hotline to God, where Judaism is more respectful, I think, about it. I don't know how to word that.
Pause real quick, you guys. I'm going to end this soon, so I want to ask, HS, are you available on any weekend nights?
Saturday night would probably be the best one. Sunday night, usually my husband and I, we cram as much as we can into that one day.
Okay.
So yeah, usually
Okay.
like Saturdays. Yeah.
What about you, Randolph? Give me an answer.
Or
Man, you
Fridays.
came back, and I'm going to end it in a few minutes. Well, Friday nights I'm all full.
Got it.
But I can do some availability on Saturday or Sunday night. Randolph, let me know about Saturday night for you, because I'll just email my brother and ask him what he's doing this coming Saturday night, and we can set something up. You guys can all have a conversation. So if Randolph's available for that. You're back. You're muted.
Can I answer a question in chat? It's triggering me.
Sure, answer whatever you want.
Are pagans theists? The answer is generally no. Most paganists, most Satanists. Wow, I just blended the word together. My brain is like all over the place. Most Satanists are atheists typically, but there are a very rare amount of Satanists that are not. But to assume that they're theists is actually incorrect. Oftentimes they're atheists. Remember the theatric thing?
Yeah.
There's literal theatrics.
Yeah.
What about those of us who are absolutely convinced that there is no such thing as gods or spirits on any level for any religion anywhere in the universe?
I'd say to those people, find a really good way to live your life and organize your moral structure. And I think you could do that through virtue ethics. There you
go. Interesting.
Well, and there you have it.
I agree. I should say, not interesting. I agree.
Well, everybody, I'm going to end this. It is beyond my time to head to bed, so I'm going to kill this stream. Okay. Sorry I had to do that right when I showed up, but bad time to come back, dude. And of course, you guys are welcome to talk in the basement as much as you want. I do not care about that. It's on you guys. So everybody on the panel, and especially my guest for tonight, thank you so much for coming by. And I've appreciated the humor and the laughs and the good conversation. Everybody in the chat, I love you guys, and I appreciate your support every single time you guys come by. It always means a lot to me. So thank you for that. Everybody out there, be good to yourself, be good to one another, and have some peace in your life.
Bye-bye.